Yeah, put chain on them.
Balls on my mom.
They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom.
Bro,
They back he look like.
Gang, that's on my monkey. Gang, that's on my monkey. Gang, that's on my monkey.
Fire. Alright. Culture. Clinician.
Yo. What up, y'all? I'm here, still in DR. I missed my flight last night. I just got off the phone with Spirit. I'm waiting on them to call me back. It's a $100 reschedule fee. Basically, I need a cash app, guys. I need a cash app to try to get this fee together, man. I'm so sick right now. I'm sick as hell.
Pookie. Hit that like button. Go ahead. Do it now before I reach out into that screen and twist your hand like Aunt Esther. Hit the like button. Thank you. Destroy.
Yo. What up, y'all? I'm here, still in DR. I missed my flight last night. I just got off the phone with Spirit. I'm waiting on them to call me back. It's a $100 reschedule fee. Basically, I need a cash app, guys. I need a cash app to try to get this fee together, man. I'm so sick right now. I'm sick as hell.
Pookie. Just go.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all the other stuff. What you hear is you're strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have.
I think that what's happening in America as far as black men, black women is concerned is that there's a revolution within a revolution. We are fighting our own woman. Our woman will not allow us to emerge as black men. No.
I hope that while we are having the discussion about these men going to these other countries, that there are some, that people with power are paying attention. People with power paying attention. That was a lot of P's, plosives there. And so that we might need to be making some legislation to create some protections for the women who are brought here by the passport bros, actually. Because genuine love and connection, okay, whatever. I hope that while we are having the discussion about these men going to these other countries, that there are some, that people with power are paying attention. People with power paying attention. That was a lot of P's, plosives there. And so that we might need to be making some legislation to create some protections for the women who are brought here by the passport bros, actually. Because genuine love and connection, okay, whatever. I hope that while we are having the discussion about these men going to these other countries, that there are some, that people with power are paying attention. People with power paying attention. That was a lot of P's, plosives there. And so that we might need to be making some legislation.
Hello, it is me, an ambassador for the bad bitches, and I would like to formally announce that we all collectively believe that the passport bros are whack. You gotta leave the country for cooch.
Damn, triple homicide.
Yikes. Ew. You thought that was cute? Now here, I'm gonna offer some suggestions. Bitches in the States don't wanna fuck you because the inside of you is terrible. Bitches on the outside of the States also don't wanna fuck you because your inside is terrible. You possessing a passport does not grant you access to human bodies, thus perpetuating your whackness. All right, King, enjoy your flight. I heard JetBlue's having a sale. Don't get robbed, or do, I don't really care.
I'm a passport boy.
It's a hard thing to admit, but it's understandable why they would choose to go their own way. And that's what's scary, is there's actually a rational reason why they would do that.
Men going their own way. And you can think what you want about it, but this is a really big problem for women, for us, for our future, for families, for you to find a partner. If a population of good men are walking away because they're fed up with women,
if you're being told all your life that you are bad and wrong just for being a man, and that you have toxic masculinity for being a man, and that, women, there's this famous expression that, a woman needs a man just like a fish needs a bicycle. And that men are basically useless. And that men are terrible, and that, women are superior.
In our society, it's very callous towards men. The only message most men hear in the world is that they're a bumbling buffoon. The TV shows are full of idiot men. Commercials show men as buffoons. The society is against them. All they hear about is what idiots men are.
It's the mass of women that are taking over the culture and representing women. They're loud. They're mean. They say they want equality. Why are they not protesting in the streets for the changing the laws for alimony or child support or child custody? Because they don't want equality. They want superiority.
The male gender has more of a slave state, and it's because men are now subjugated to the law and to women, and nobody really believes it, except the men who go through, say, the court. But most men think that they're exempt from that until they end up in a bad situation.
So for a lot of the men, and a lot of them have gotten screwed over in terrible relationships and divorces, and gotten their kids taken away from them. So it's an understandable response.
In the United States of America, as a man, you can't speak up. I think most women tend to be I'm stereotyping, but they tend to be more collectivist. They tend to sort of be more in that socialist mindset. So I don't know that you're going to see a huge change. I think the change will have to come from men.
The lives of women will not change until the men get the opportunity to also examine and define and change their lives. In many ways, I sometimes think that the 20th century was the century where the women made all these massive changes, and the 21st century will be the changes that the men will make, partly in adapting to the changes that the women have done.
And those men are doing something about it. They're saying, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm not getting married, or I'm divorced. They don't sit around just trying to live their life through women. They actually have lots of hobbies. They go out, they buy that land you were talking about. They're out there getting motorcycles. They're having a good time, and they're enjoying life without having to deal with the stress of the women and the society that tells them they have to have a woman in their life.
How would you feel? I mean, you're not going to feel that attracted to a woman or care to be loving towards her or romantic towards her. So this men going their own way is a reaction to that. I really think it's a rational reaction to that. Men are finally like, hey, we've given you all you want. You know, you are equal in every way, and then you're still shaming us.
Got an itch in my palm. My girl, she know she the one. I put the ice on her hand. I put some ice on her arm. See me shining in the light. Know you found me in the dark. Talking how you wanna leave. Girl, you made this far. Taking trips overseas. No, I won't be long. We came up from the weeds. Now it's top floor. All these big yes on her wrist. VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on a let it spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge cause she all mine. There for my first cake, then we hit 100K. $500,000 on the way, then $1 million on the way. Eating good, full plates, eating good, say grace. Eat her up, get thanks. She got cake birthday. I can't waste no way, I can't waste no play. Okay. My girl, whoa, whoa, something like the baddest chick. My girl, whoa, whoa, came up from the rags to rich. Hit the road running, I had to tell her I had to get it. She understood, but she spoiled, so when she get mad, she dip. All these big yes on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on a let it spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge cause she all mine. All these big yes on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on a let it spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her cause she all mine. All these big yes on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. Spend it on a challenge cause she all mine. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend.
guys, we're going to have a great show on tonight, and please share the stream as we talk about a condition or a phenomenon that I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with. The question tonight as it relates to the show is this. Are passport pookies the spawns of single mothers or baby mamas? Are passport pookies the spawns of baby mothers? So, what does it mean for the current movement that men are and we're going to talk about it more or less tonight. So, guys, get your pen and paper ready as I'm about to drop some fire for your mind on tonight. Let's do it. Socialization of boys not being raised by their fathers and not being in intact families. Let's go. All right, guys, let's have a great show on tonight. Thank you for the 23 that are tuning in on tonight. Look forward to a great conversation, but if you guys don't know, if you guys have not seen, I know, and I'm sure you guys know, that when you hear boys saying, on my mama, many times that's a sign of arrested development. Arrested development means or happens when a person over-identify with another person instead of having balance where they can identify with the father and the mother. But sadly, with so many kids born in single-parent homes without fathers that they can identify in, many times you hear young black men say, because they're acting in an emotional response, they'll say this.
Yeah, put chain on the walls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom, bro. They back me look like
gang. That's on my monkey gang. That's on my monkey gang. That's on my.
Yeah, and that's what they said. They said it's on my mama. And Jay Beezy is the rapper, and Jay Beezy is right because often art imitates life. And when you hear grown men saying, on my mama, that's a problem. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something on tonight. I need at least 5 people to share this stream. I need secretaries to count how many times this young man said, on my mama. Because there are people, guys, that are doing everything in their power to try to minimize what men are beginning to do or trying to do as it relates to world travel, as it relates to the passport movement. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to conflate and assume that all men that travel, not only do they trick, but they're passport pookies. And this young man, I don't want to denigrate him, but, you know, I think he got some passport pookie in him because many times he sounded like a man that was raised by his mama. And not only that, a man that's very emotional. And see, guys, we don't have communities like we used to because we live in a world now where men can't be men anymore. And when men can't be men and when men can't have the tutelage of older men, guys, then it becomes a problem. And when men don't have the guidance of older men and stronger men in their lives, when they get angry, they become emotional. And many times what you'll hear them say is, on my mama, because they get angry and they get frustrated and they don't think logically, but these men have been conditioned to think just like their mom.
Yeah, we changed the balls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back me look like
gang, that's on my monkey. Gang, that's on my monkey. Gang, that's on my monkey.
And see, guys, this young man is a man that went to DR recently, and some would say that he was dusty. And I'm going to let you guys decide if he's a passport pookie, if he is a pookma pirate. And a pookma pirate is a person that goes to other ecosystems causing distress, causing frustration. And many times pookma pirates many times don't have any level of decorum that would symbolize what Brazil Yeast talk about, which is the Blue Book gentleman. And you know, it's a bad thing, guys, when you have some men that travel abroad that exhibit this behavior. So I want you guys to start counting at some point how many times this young man said on my mama. Because you guys are going to see that this young man took a spirit flight, and it appeared that what this young man was doing was very dusty.
Yo. What up, y'all? I'm here still in DR. I missed my flight last night. I just got off the phone with Spirit. I'm waiting on them to call me back. It's a $100 reschedule fee. Basically, I need a cash app, guys. I need a cash app to try to get this fee together, man. I'm so sick right now. I'm sick as hell.
Pookie. Let's go. And it appears that Pookie got to the Dominican Republic and they have enough money to get back, man. And shout out to my man Theo Waff. Theo, if you can, come up at some point, brother. I want you to share insight on this. You and my man Pablo Frescobar. And we're going to kill the game on tonight at some point because I want you to more or less share from your insight, being a class traveler, if this is passport pookie behavior. Shout out to my man R. Pete for the $5 super sticker. Thank you, R. Pete. I appreciate it, brother. And R. Pete, because of your kind donation, you are the #1 sponsor, brother, of this stream. Thank you, sir. All right, shout out to RP for that $5 super sticker. And I'm seeing from the comments, some are saying pathetic. And, it does appear to be pathetic for a grown man to travel abroad and not have a contingency plan. And I went to Brazil twice, guys, last year. I went to Brazil twice. And when I went to Brazil, I think the first overall trip was about $3,500. Very expensive. And I think the second time, I think it was $2,900 to $3,400. And it baffles me, guys, how can a man travel all the way to Susa, but then get back and ask folks for $100 to get back? And as the guys are saying, it sounds like Pook my pirate behavior. And a Pook my pirate, guys, once again, causes chaos in his ecosystem. Y'all, please forgive me, man. But damn, this don't make no sense, man. This don't make no sense, man. How can you travel all the way to damn Dominican Republic and do a live asking folks for $100 to get back to Brazil, get back to America, man? That makes no sense, man. And make brothers bad. But guys, I'm of the opinion that this young man was born, or is the spawn of a baby mama. And I'm going to show you guys something about how it works from a clinical perspective, because I want to start it with a foundational groundwork, and that foundational groundwork is called introjection. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about, and then we're going to get deep into it. But in the meantime, guys, get the likes up. Give me 5 guys to share this stream. And if you have not donated to the channel, donate to the channel. And thank you for the 34 that are watching. But you guys are going to see what I'm talking about on the night, how negative socialization plays a role in the psychology of so many young men, because it's not rational behavior, guys. So I'm going to show you from a clinical perspective what introjection is. And so introjection, many times it's an unconscious adoption of ideas or attitudes. So let me show you guys what it looks like, and then we're going to get deep into the show with the videos. And guys, share this stream so people can see what I'm talking about. So hold tight. Let me show you guys. And y'all tell me what y'all think. So here it is, introjection. So what is an example of introjection? And I'm going to show it to you. Introjection occurs when a person internalizes the ideals of other people, often external authorities. And who's that external authority? Well, that external authority, guys, is the baby mama. The external authority, guys, is the baby mama. That's why when they get frustrated, they say, "Oh, my mama." The external authority is the baby mama, because the baby mama is who they identify with. They don't identify with nobody else. So once again, guys, it turns to introspection. They introspect the ideas of their baby mamas and that matriarchal system that they're born in. But from introspection, guys, I'm going to show you, it turns to internalization. And internalization, guys, occurs when a transaction is handled by entity itself rather than outside of itself. The process may apply to business investments or to the corporate world. But internalization is the action of accepting, the absorbing of an ideal, opinion, belief, so they become part of your character. So what you got, guys, you got some of these young men, they're taking on the character of their mothers. And because they over-identify or more or less internalize some of the beliefs of their moms, the last stage is called identification. Introjection, internalization, identification, and the last step is called projection. Introjection, internalization, identification, and the last step is called projection. And many times that's in a negative way. And you wonder why the ecosystem or the current world that we live in now is so chaotic, because many of these boys don't have the tutelage of masculine men. Sean James wrote a book, guys, called The Man Crisis. And The Man Crisis by Sean James talks about the decline of male authority. And Sean takes a theological approach as well. But I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from that before I go to the video, and it's going to make sense at some point. But on my mama, guys, is the war cry for so many men. If you guys didn't understand and know, before I became a therapist, I worked in law enforcement. I worked with the Department of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. 2 years prior to that, I worked in the prison system. I was a CO. And many of the boys that I saw, guys, in the prison system were the spawns of baby mamas of single-parent homes. And I'm not going to say that a woman or a child or a boy raised in a single-parent home might not turn out okay. There are exceptions to the rules. But I think there's a difference between a baby mama and a single-parent mother, because many times a single-parent mom could be the response of a woman that went through a divorce. But many times baby mamas are women that continue to have kids outside of wedlock, reckless, and giving their bodies to these dusty men that don't have no, or more or less, no concern for those poor children. And they create an ecosystem that causes chaos instead of having what's called homogeny or equilibrium. Now, guys, shout out to my man, Brandon Jett. I appreciate it, brother. Brandon Jett showing some love. Brandon Jett said that just add to the collection plate. Salute the coach. I appreciate it, Brandon Jett. And Brandon Jett, because of your kind love offering, brother, you are, Brandon Jett, the #1 sponsor of this stream. Thank you, sir. Guys, I'm going to send, Theo, I'm going to send you the link. Hold tight, brother. I'm going to send it to you now in the background, Theo. And Theo, you can come on up. I'm sending you the email right now. Check your email, Theo, so you can come in, man, and add to. As a blue book gentleman, to say the least. Hold tight. I don't know what happened. Let my link drop a little bit. And so Theo's going to come in at some point, guys, and we're going to break this thing down. But I want to show you guys something, because there's a man crisis. And Sean James talked about it. He called it the decline of male authority. Now, I'm going to read a couple of excerpts, and then I'm going to get into the video. But when God created the earth, he gave man dominion over it, and part of that dominion is established a male authority. What is male authority? Male authority is acknowledgement of men and women that God has given men control over the earth. And being the direct connection to God, men have been given responsibility for what goes on in the earth. In God's natural order, women taught male authority to their sons. But see, guys, what's happening now is that many men or many of these young boys have not been taught the authority from their mom. Because, see, some say that the woman is the first teacher, but that's a misnomer. The woman is the first teacher only at the behest of the man. The woman is the first teacher after what her husband teaches her, and then the woman teaches that to the children. But now, sadly, guys, we don't have that anymore. We don't have men that can teach kids the proper responsibility. Shout out to my man, Theo Waff. And Theo, what do you think about this parody, man? This young man going out being what I call a passport pookie, or a pook my pirate. I call him a pook my pirate, because the behavior is irreprehensible and the behavior is disgusting. So give me some clarity on what you think about it, Theo, and how do you feel about this current conversation, brother?
I've seen people like this abroad, without a doubt. It's rare, but the people who I've normally seen abroad are white, British, and England, and Aussies. And I have seen a few black men who do this. I thought they were nuts. When I was in Brazil last year, I did see a few. And I just let them rot to their demise. They deserve what they get. They shouldn't be there. and they're asking for money, or they're saying like, help me out, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I can't believe, man, that a person would travel abroad, man, travel that far, travel to another country. And I understand, like, if you lost your wallet or something, or, you lost your passport or something, that's understandable. But you should have a fallback plan. Would you say that the people that have animus towards this young man is being too critical, or do you feel it's just? I'm going to show you at some point the videos that I have, the video footage. Go ahead.
Sure.
So do you feel like those people are being too critical?
Oh, no, I don't feel like they're being too critical at all. I think they're getting exactly what they deserved. Well, the video that I saw there, that was revolting. Mm-hmm. And to be asking for money like that or anything like that while going abroad, it's just sickening. And so I'd be like, no, you don't get anything. And then you have to figure out how to live there. And then if you want to get back, you have to work your way out. You have to pay for your own ticket.
Yeah. He got some money. He flew Spirit, man, which is even worse.
Yeah, but I really don't have any mercy for these guys who do it. I mean, when I go abroad, I have a way of extracting myself. I make sure that I'm protected, right? But I'm the one protecting myself. I've got layers of defense in case something happens. So, I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, when I was in Russia, when I was traveling to Russia, I lost my visa. So I was actually stranded in London. But I mean, I had my university protecting me. I had my parents, right? Parents, 2 people. And finally, the Russian government understood that I lost the visa. They're like, okay, come in. We know who you are. Right? So it was no big deal. I was able to get out. But I had the money. I also had an extra $1,000 on me in cash to make sure I can travel. Right. If you're not traveling like that, if you're just thinking like I just go over there and do what I want. Oh no, you're that's it. That's a recipe for disaster. And if you got guys, if people are critical of them, yeah, they deserve it.
Theo, some will argue that these men make the passport movement look bad because the passport movement is a broad spectrum. In that broad spectrum is Blue Book Gentlemen. Shout out to Brazil Yeesh. Mm-hmm. You got groups like BMT, you got BMO, you got a bunch of different groups, man. They're all under the canopy of that. But however, there are passport pookies, or what I call pookma pirates, that go and cause chaos in the ecosystem. And what it does, it gives validation to the critics, and they more or less overgeneralize and say every man that go abroad is dusty, a lame, and can't afford to travel abroad. What do you say to that type of criticism, man? And what does that do to a movement that's growing and more or less not only getting criticism, but also getting momentum at the same time?
I laugh at that because the ones who are, if anyone's being destructive, it's the women. Mm-hmm. So again, when I travel abroad, there are women who can't pay for their stay. So they usually just put out and they go from guy to guy and they just kind of meander, live off the men, the natives. Mm-hmm. I've seen this quite often. So the guys aren't doing that because very rarely will anyone give any mercy to them. So if they're saying that this is a part of the movement, I would say like, you're just jealous. You're not actually going out there and seeing what this is. Mm-hmm. Like go abroad for a year and actually live there, speak the language and see how the people are moving. You'd be like, nah, man, the men are solid. Mm-hmm. Like the men are really, they're working. They have cash flow. They're very structured. It's actually the women who can be rather disruptive.
Mm-hmm. And I call you Hemdall, man. Hemdall was the gatekeeper in Thor. You're a Hemdall, man. And the reason why I call you Hemdall, man, because you're going to be the bridge to help many men cross over into foreign lands to do what I call without being digital nomads, but to help them with remote learning and helping them with IT where they can be 6-figure earners. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, more or less, Theo, and how that they don't have to be a passport pookie based on the program that you have, based on the program implementation that you have, and based on what you're trying to implement to so many black men, it's going to be vital in helping them not be negative like this young man in this video that I'm going to pull up in a few minutes.
Well, first thing I say is that your labor is valuable and your input is valuable. So this is the first area where I actually have to fight with the students and say, stop thinking low about yourself. but you can really go farther. You can go further and you can achieve a lot more than you possibly think you can. And I'm going to show you how to do it. And then I tell them about how I thought that I couldn't do anything because I was black. And I was like, when I finally broke free of that, I was like, I never looked back. So I give them that story. I show them, hey, you can actually make 100,000, but not only that, you can make 200,000. Wow. And then I give them the structure where you have to have multiple streams of income so that you can be abroad and be stable, and you have cash flow, you have cash savings back home. And so if you do lose one stream, you can go back to America and get another one, and then travel abroad. But I say to them, don't go low, go high. And you want to have the same standard of living that you have abroad. You want to be able to come back to America and establish the same standard. So in both countries, you don't want to be, I kind of say, like accepting a lesser life anywhere. And so I get that part, and then I show them how to do it, how to implement it. And it takes time, but I have over 10 students abroad right now who have left the country, and they're making over 200,000 each.
Over 200?
Yeah. Most of those guys were making between $0 and $60,000 before they started my program, and now they're over 200,000.
Over 200 abroad.
Yeah, so the money comes from the States, and so they're making the money there, and then they're living in other countries. Brazil and Colombia are the two main ones. Also, I got a guy right now in Japan doing the same thing, and they're very comfortable abroad, and they're dating the natives, and they're enjoying themselves. But they also have about $50,000 each saved back in America, so in case they actually need it and they go back. But they're doing professional level work, and they're not considering anything lower ever again. So when they fly, those guys in the beginning, when they flew coach. Now they all fly business class. They stay at an Airbnb, or they get an apartment, right? So they maybe like $400 or $500 a month. But if they stay in a hotel, it's usually $200 a night. That's even abroad. So they live very well. They don't even deal with low levels at all. Like low level women, low level men, they don't touch them. They're in a different class.
No doubt. Shout out to my man Gregory Scotland. He said that the passport movement is stronger than most give credit. I think we explain too much. Stand tall and let the women continue to look foolish. What do you say about that, Theo? About what Gregory Scotland said? What do you think about that?
I've been abroad for so many years, like over 20 years, and Western women naturally make themselves look foolish abroad. It's very rare that they're actually competent abroad. I mean, I have a few cases where they actually did something well, but for the most part, no. They were there. They weren't good with their money. They didn't talk with the natives. They were trying to enforce American policy or thinking on other people, and they weren't culturally malleable. Whereas Western men, in particular black men, this is the big one that I saw, was really black men spoke the language, mingled with the people, were culturally malleable, adapted other people's cultures to their own, gave their culture over. So it was a good exchange. And so people would kind of like jive with us, and they would have great communication, and they would at least have a better view of the West after talking to us. And so I just look at what Western women are saying right now, and I just laugh. I seriously do. I was like, you think you're saying these words? Go spend 2 years abroad with me. Yeah, see what happens.
What do you mean by spending 2 years abroad? Break it down for the audience so they can understand what you're saying, Theo.
So usually, if you're abroad for an extended period of time, you're not doing a week, but you're abroad for a while. What you have to do is actually deal with foreign power. So your power, in terms of your being an American or a Westerner, that is irrelevant. Your attachment to your power structure is gone. So you have to attach to the culture's power structure. And the only way to do that is to adapt and to adopt their culture and their idea of power into your own. And if you do that, that's how you eat. That's how you get money, how you get food, how you're part of their institutions, but you can also integrate into their culture. Now, Western women have the most difficulty in doing this. They really have a hard time because they're held accountable, and they have to work, and there's no welfare. There's no special entitlement or any kind of that. You if you want to do something, you have to work for it, just like the native women have to work for it. And the Western women are unwilling to do that. And then they're thinking that they should get, benefits from the men, and they don't. Most of the native men don't want anything to do with them. They look at them a little bit, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Western man gets endless attention.
Mm-hmm.
it's like a buffet. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have the ability to actually integrate into the culture, mm-hmm. then you're not going to last 2 years. You're going to be at the airport. Mm-hmm. You're gone. Mm-hmm. That's it. I don't know how many women I know who are good friends of mine when I was abroad. I would know them for 2 or 3 months, and then boom, they're out. They can't take it.
So when you're saying they can't take it, meaning because it's a patriarchy, is that fair to say?
No, the entire system. So what they think is fair or what they think is right and wrong is gone. Mm-hmm. And so this is one of the things like black men are really good at, because, for example, we're like a subculture in America, right? So we have what we think is right and wrong, but then we have what white people think is right and wrong. And when push comes to shove, we usually have to bend to some degree to what the main group says is right and wrong. Right. Where if we go abroad, the only thing we're doing is changing that white power structure for another power structure. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's just we're still a subculture. We're not a majority. So what happens is that, like, for example, Western women, they are a majority where they're at. When they go abroad, suddenly they're not. They're a subculture. So they cannot accept their values being second place, their values being marginalized. Whereas for black men, we're like, oh, our values are marginalized. Oh, that's Monday. Okay, no big deal. I'll just deal with it. Hey, come talk to me. I'll still talk with you. I'll deal with you. Mm-hmm. And so the Western women they just peter out. That's it. They just go one after another. They can barely make it to 6 months. They don't speak the language. They don't know what the people are saying. They think they're getting insulted or people are talking about them. Mm-hmm. In reality, nobody's talking about them. Mm-hmm. Because they can't communicate. Mm-hmm. So nobody wants to talk to them. Mm-hmm. They don't care. So they're not the center of attention. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they can't compete with the beauty of the domestic women.
Right. When you travel abroad, Theo, where was this more profound? Was it more in Brazil, Japan, Colombia? Where did you see it more?
Japan.
Talk about that, please.
Japan was a wasteland for Western women. Mm-hmm. I felt sorry for them to some degree, but I mean, as many women talked to me, from the moment they landed until the moment they left, barely anybody looked at them. They didn't get. They would say, like, it wasn't just that they didn't get shagged for 1 year. Nobody slept with them. Nobody held their hand. Nobody had a date with them. Nothing. No kissing. Zero. No physical contact. And what they wanted, for example, was to be on parity with men. They got to see what parity meant. So they were just a foreigner the same way that the men were foreigners. And nobody thought that they were anything special. So most of the time, the women would go to work, go home on the train. That was it. The only time somebody talked to them was at work. That's because it's professional. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, they had a zero. Whereas the men could not stop dating. It was like another. We don't know. We can't stop. Mm-hmm. We're just constantly dating. So for us, it was a paradise. Mm-hmm. And the thing was that the men weren't going around talking about how great they were, mm-hmm. or down with patriarchy or some crap like that. Mm-hmm. They were just happy. They're like, they're gone. They're making families. They're doing stuff. They're having a great time. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the West, the women are there and they're complaining about the men. They're constantly not happy. They're always having these problems, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of the Western women actually understood why they were the problem. It wasn't the men were the problem, that the Western women were the problem.
Right.
And they had to change. And if they didn't change, they were going to die alone. And they saw it, like, you would see women who were like 23, 24 years old, mm-hmm. who were like straight out, like D cups, double D cups, like blonde, like it's like super hot. They would walk down the street and nobody would look at them. They wouldn't care.
Are you serious?
In
Japan?
Because you got Japanese women. Right. Japanese women will beat them in femininity straight out. Mm-hmm. Like just annihilation. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, why? Why would you even pay attention to them? Right. And so they might get a few looks from Western guys who haven't actually seen Japanese women yet. So at the airport or like a train station. But once the guys get to see Japanese women and they're with them, it's gone. Like one of the things that Japanese women, that I'll give an example of this. Western women want the guy to act in a certain way so that she can brag about him to her other girlfriends, right?
Right.
Japanese women don't care about their girlfriends like that. They like goofy guys. So they want a guy who's goofy, who's a little off schedule, like off kilter, and that they can go off and laugh with and not be serious with, and just explore life together. And he's a part of her world. You get those two. No, the Western men are gone. They're hunted. That's it. Out.
I got a good question for you. And guys, y'all got any questions directly for Theo? Send a super chat. I'll answer it for you. And we can do that. But I'm going to play a video at some point, and me and Theo going to break it down. But we're going to talk about the dichotomous thinking, Theo, between the passport pookie that's venerated here in America. But on the flip side, you know, the blue book gentleman, or the educated brother, or like yourself, or the guys that have IT jobs, or what some would call weird or socially awkward, they're venerated in other countries. Shout out to my man Jay Perrin for the $20 super sticker. He said that, been gone for a while, I'm back sending my copay. Remember the lady from the Philippines? Check the anti-passport lady. No doubt. Jay Perrin, thank you, brother. Glad to see you. Good to see you.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Hold tight. All right. So you know, Theo, you're a highly educated man. You're a hemdall, in my opinion. You're leading a lot of men to freedom. But do a comparative contrast and analysis between the passport pookie versus a blue book gentleman like yourself that's an educated man. Because in other countries, being educated is venerated and respected. Talk to the people.
So, for example, he's only wearing like U.S. domestic street clothes. He's wearing Jordans, but in a bad way. His jeans are incorrect. His shirt's bad. He's looking the way. It's obvious he can't read anything. His accent is bad. His English is bad, and so like even natives the natives in those countries who speak English, they don't understand what he's saying. And then he's talking in a way that people don't really understand. They don't respect him. So I've seen those kind of guys from time to time. Sure. And it's very different from the passport bros, blue book gentlemen. Those guys are domestic. They already know about the culture, the history, the language of the people. They have contacts there. They're a part of the community. They probably have an address or have a government registration. They probably have a visa, and they have really strong cash flow. So they're there talking to the natives to learn. They're doing an integration. That's what's called an adaptation and integration to the culture. So passport bros want nothing to do with passport pookies. Nothing. They totally avoid them. And this is both men and women, because there are low-level women who are just total, like, yeah, they're like like a community property, but they're in other countries, and we don't want anything to do with them either. You're like, yeah, get out of here. We know what you're doing. Get out.
Well, we know what
to do with you.
But you know what? I think what you're dealing with, Theo, is that these pookies are actually Pookma pirates, and many times they cause this response.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't like them at all. I've seen them from time to time, and it's like, I don't like you. You're just so bad. Why are you doing this? And what you're saying about the single mother impact, I somewhat agree with that. They're not a part of any community,
right?
And I don't like them at all. So when I see those guys, like, they're always trying to like get into a woman's pants, things like that. And I'm looking at them like, these women are trained not to be with men like you. Like, they're going to avoid you. So go ahead and try all you want. You're just making a fool of yourself. The problem is the guy doesn't know he's making a fool of himself. So I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
So I get away from him. I don't want to be associated because it's going to make my name look bad.
And once again, man, they're very erratic, man. And, you know, Theo, if you're not careful, they'll hurt you. And you better be aware when they start saying this. And guys, I need y'all to count when I show y'all this video. But this is what they start saying, Theo, when you check them or challenge their manhood. They say if you keep running your mouth, they'll say, oh, my mama.
Yeah, put chain on the balls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back me look like
gang. That's on my monkey gang. That's on my monkey gang. That's on my.
And see, that on my mama is a psychopathology based in negative socialization because they over-identify with their mama. Because see, what men do, men bring balance. Men bring balance. Men give structure. Women give nurturing. And when you contract it together, then you have what's called an equilibrium. But see, most kids now born in some of these single-parent homes, from a percentage of men that are degenerates, you know, these are the kind of men that a lot of these women want. I'm not saying all, but a large percentage. And after they give that virtue away in their youthful years, then they want to come back to you and say, you know, Take Care of My Kids by Raekwon, Man and Day Day. And I see it all the time as a therapist. I saw it in the school system, and also I saw it when I worked with juveniles. A passport pookie abroad in Japan, how's he denigrated in your opinion?
He doesn't last long. He's not respected. Some girls will think he's kind of cute and stuff for a while, but when I mean a while, I'm talking like an hour on the dance floor or something like that. They're not going to go home with him. In fact, they're not going to go back to a table with him. But I mean, they'll think he's cute and everything like that. But that's about all. They're not respected. They're not really. There's no culture with them at all. Even for low-level natives, they don't want anything to do with them. So those kind of guys, I'm thinking about, like, again, Japan, Russia, Ukraine, without a doubt, they wouldn't want to have nothing to do with that kind of guy. It would take a little bit longer. Brazil, they wouldn't want to either, but it'd take a little bit longer to identify who he is.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So he might get some play on the beat or something like that, but then after a while, they're going to get rid of him.
Right. Right.
If I ever had a problem with like a passport pookie like that, because I have ID whenever I go abroad, I'm holding ID in case I get with the police. So I would just, like, if the police come up, I just show the ID, show who I am, and I said I don't know who this person is in their language, and they're like, okay, we're good, you can go.
Shout out to my man KP from KC5 for the $2 super sticker. Thank you, sir. He said, how do we contact Theo for his courses? And Theo, tell him how they can contact you, brother.
My email is theowaf@gmail.com. It's pretty easy. Okay. So just go ahead and send me an email if you want to talk to me about the course. I'm accepting new students in September this year. I'm trying to ramp up my current amount of students that I have. I have over 100 right now, and so I'm trying to get all 100 of them to over at least $150,000 a year in salary. So that's why I'm not accepting new ones right now, because I have to really focus on this.
Right.
But
right.
The program that I have is pretty tight, and I'm getting guys doing DevSecOps right now. So doing multi-cloud. I mean, it's challenging, but I'm getting some guys doing some exciting work. So yeah, it's gonna happen. Come to the class.
I might even get that class. How much is the class, Theo?
It's free.
Oh, it's free, really?
Yeah. I don't charge anything for it. The reason I don't charge anything for it is that the guy who got me into IT, he was a good friend of mine, and he broke my thinking, and so I always had a debt to him because all of my money that I came was from him. And so in one way, I'm paying it forward. I decided to go ahead and teach black men. I got sick and tired of me being the only black guy in an office, that's the token black guy. And then they're speaking, they're like, wow, you're so intelligent, you speak so articulately and everything, like, are you exception? And I'm like, I'm sick and tired of this. I want more black guys in IT.
Right.
So you don't have to go through years of experience. You just have to know how to solve a problem. And so I teach the guys how to solve problems and get certified, and then solve more problems. And what I'm finding out is that this is like the new factory job. You just need to be trained in a different manner. And the guys are doing just fine. Yeah, they're very competent. They're intelligent. They're doing a great job. And these are guys. Some of them don't have university degrees. They've never done IT before. I have felons in my class. In fact,
wow.
I have more than one felon who's making over $120,000 a year right now. And that's
serious?
No university degree felon, like 3 to 4 years in jail for doing this and that.
Oh man, that's impressive, man. That's very impressive, and I respect you highly, man, for And you know what you just said earlier is what I've been through too. When I was in grad school at UNC, they would say you're very articulate. You know, you're very erudite, and I'm like, what did you expect? So that's a microaggression many times, man. It's foolish because a lot of times they judge and castigate you based on how you speak. They don't expect you to speak well, which is it's goofy to me. But you know, passport pookies personify the negative internalization of many of these people that more or less judge black men. What's your take on that?
I definitely agree on that. And so if they're seen too often, of course, it's going to be a problem. And the big problem is if they make babies. And we know this. So like, again, military bases, most of the passport pookies are like, you know, the white guys who leave the kids behind, but there are plenty of black men who do this also. They leave the kids behind, so they got military bases across the world where they have these babies, right? Yeah, that's a problem, and I don't like that, of course. So I get affected by that, of course, when I'm abroad, and I have to say that I'm not associated with it. I'm just a normal man. I speak your language. I'm a civilian. So the only way that we can really beat that is to be the best version of ourselves, communicate, be intelligent, and show them that you're different and change the narrative. And they really appreciate it when we do it. When we for black men, we go the extra step. They like it. And most of the time, we don't have a history of us killing them, right? So, I mean, all these other countries in the world, they have a history of these white Westerners or white Americans coming to their country and killing their people. They're like, what's a black guy doing? What, he's a rapper? he's Obama. He's Men in Black, right? He's what's he gonna do to us? So they're like, okay, let's go talk to the guy. I always tell that to my students and anybody I train up. I'm like, look, this idea Pookie is really strong in the States, but it's not that strong abroad. I mean, there's some there, but it's not nearly as bad. And part of the reason is because the ABW has no voice abroad. They're not listening to her. So therefore, because of that, we have the ability to actually speak, and they're hearing us for who we are and what our message is. And because of that, we have a really great opportunity to actually integrate, to do something with their culture, and to really communicate with their people. So, I mean, I know thousands of people abroad, and I've been enriched by them, but I've helped enrich their lives as well. So it's good.
No doubt. Pablo, check your email, brother, and also share the stream with your people. They need to hear what Theo is saying. He got a lot of knowledge. He is the hemdall for the passport movement. But I'm going to pull this video up, and I'm going to show you guys something. Hold tight. Hold tight. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, so shout out to Travel OG, Travel Ed, fair use. And he's going to talk about the parody of the passport.
Video about a term that I've been hearing more and more, social media, whatever, about brothers traveling, and the term is passport pookie. Now, I'm fully aware of what the term means in the context of, the passport bros movement. With more and more brothers traveling to other countries, naturally, there's going to be an increase of travelers, both young and old, who are new to international travel. So that's going to lead to a little bit of ignorance about certain aspects of international travel. And before I begin, I'd like to explain the difference between ignorance and stupidity. Stupidity is running across a 5-lane highway in the middle of the night. That's just stupid. Ignorance is going to a 5-star restaurant for the first time and not knowing how to use all the utensils, the cutlery. You're ignorant to that. You haven't been exposed to that. And in most cases, ignorance is okay. It's okay to be ignorant because you've never been exposed to this before in your life. And I think that that's what happens to many of us. I was ignorant to a lot of facts. 20 plus years ago when I started traveling internationally. Taxis, visas, immigration, all of that type of stuff. It's all new because you've never done it before. So before I think people need to start coming down on these so-called passport pookies, before we denigrate, I think we need to make an effort to educate. We don't want to be the ones jumping on each other's backs.
So, Theo, can they be educated? That's the question. Can they be educated?
The passport pookies?
Yes, sir.
Maybe back home. They need to go through, well, not really. No. Maybe. If they have some sort of formal education, something formal happens. Mm-hmm. But I think you're really right regarding the baby mama. Mm-hmm. And that's really hard to beat. So those guys, I have students, of course I have students who came from single mother families, but they're not pookies. Mm-hmm. They're struggling. They're fighters. Mm-hmm. But they're, I can tell they're having a little more difficulty. But you could maybe say they're ignorant, but they're trying. They're trying to do the best version of themselves.
Right. And let me be real clear. I don't want to castigate. Every man that's from a single parent home doesn't mean he's a bad person or a pookie. But a baby mama and a single mama, in my opinion, is two different things.
Yeah.
But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're talking about the problem, like we're from those videos, right? And those guys are almost impossible to reform. So I don't even try. If they do some work by themselves, okay, fine. But for the most part, abroad, nah, man. Like any guy who acts like a passport pookie like that, they don't last long. Maybe a week, because they don't have the ability to survive. Where are they gonna eat? Where are they gonna go? Because all it's gonna take is them irritating a native, and the native's gonna go to the police and say, "Look, this foreigner is driving me crazy," and police gonna come and say, "What are you doing? Where are you staying?" The guy doesn't know. He starts acting out of pocket. He's gone. That's it. Deportation. Well, don't have to worry about that one. Or they go to jail. Yeah, so I don't worry about them that much. The English pookies will get violent. I've seen Aussie ones get violent as well. Yankee one doesn't do that as much. They're more whiners. My personal opinion.
Now, with that being said, I've seen and experienced some of the things attributed to passport pookies. Mm-hmm. I think that it's imperative that new travelers understand one thing above most. You're not in your country anymore. Mm. It's a totally different ball game. Mm. The rules don't apply as they normally would. Mm. The authorities in that country don't want to hear what it's like back in your hometown. Doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
You're on their playing field.
Yeah.
You're a visitor in their country. So act accordingly. It's almost like when I was a little boy. My grandmother used to always give us that briefing. When you go to somebody else's house, act like you got some sense. I know the excitement to be somewhere different, to take it all in. You go into a place where if you drink, you can get bottle service for $40, where it's 500, 1,000 or more back where you from, and you want to get it in. I get that. Beautiful women all over the place, all this kind of things, and you want to get it in. But you've got to understand that you not only represent other black men and other black people, most importantly, you represent yourself. Act like you got some business about you. And in my experience, I've run into two types of these quote-unquote passport pookies. The humble young man that sits back and says, all right, bro, I got your big dog, OG, whatever. And then it's like, oh, all right, I got you. And I run into the one that's like, oh, man, I ain't trying to, I ain't trying to get you. I ain't trying to get with that, man, da. And to me, either one is fine because a hard head makes a soft behind. Going to someone else's country, you need to conduct yourself in a proper way. Not drawing attention to yourself. A prime example of that is, wearing big flashy jewelry and things like that. Yeah, if that's you, and that's you, all well and good.
The American value system versus traveling abroad, what's the dichotomy between the two?
I would say, man, there's quite a lot. I had quite a lot of comments to say on that. Let me say this. When he said there was the two kinds of pookies, the first one is just a younger guy. And I want to say, like, most Western guys act like him. So they're like, they got it. They're learning though. They got a book open. They're trying to do something. The guy who acts like the second one, that's a problem. Oh yeah, I see those guys fail. I feel like rich guys fail who act like that. So I was like, okay, yeah, if you're gonna be kind of combative, nah, man. Of course, you're always putting the best version of yourself. What I think is that there's a lot of guys out there, however, who didn't have a father to enforce that best version of yourself. So, like, again, I had a dad. My dad would sit me down and we're going to go out, and it's really calm right now in this room. If you act up, we're going to come back to this room again. It's not going to be calm. So how the outcome depends on you. I'm like, okay, I understand. So I was very quiet when I went out, right? And so when I was abroad, I was the same way. I would be, quiet and listen and try to cooperate with people and try to integrate as much as I possibly could. But you could tell people who didn't have fathers around. Yeah, because they were acting as if the American system was that system abroad. And we're looking at it like, no, it's not right. They're going to tell you what the system is. You're going to see it. You better be ready for it. So the guys who really didn't integrate, yeah, they were at the airport 2 weeks. Yeah.
Pablo, you're well traveled. Your beautiful wife is from Dominican Republic, and this reaction that we're going to look at tonight from this young man is going to give a level of credence to how men should move when they go abroad. What's been your whole take on the passport pookie and how it more or less minimizes or denigrate the movement of a bevy of men that are about their business and trying to find wives?
Well, let me say this. When I first took an international trip back in 2006 to Brazil, there was no social media. There was only like MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace was the, social media du jour and Black Planet, right? So there wasn't nearly as much attention, and there wasn't nearly as much hype and dueling information, right? So Now, I was lucky enough to be, you know, a well-educated man with a college degree, learned a lot of world history and things like that. So I'm fairly well versed in the social graces, right? So I know enough to, when I go to a new country, to be, you know, very gracious and humble and the like, right?
Right.
But now guys are getting bombarded with very enticing information, right? And so they'll see an image of a guy on a yacht in Thailand, or, you know, some guy in Sasua with, you know, 2 or 3 beautiful women on his arm.
Right.
And they just go, I'm going. Right? Before I took my first trip to Brazil, I listened to Portuguese CDs for 6 months. Right? Just to be able to communicate basic things like, I need some water, agua, right? I need to use the, you know, the baño, the bathroom. Now, that's Spanish, but my point is, these guys are being hit with so much information, some of it wrong, some of it incomplete. And, you know, so I can't totally fault them. But in the case of the guy that was, you know, in DR and ran out of money, this is not a poor man's game.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
I would not dare leave the environs of the United States without at least $2,000 to $3,000 at my disposal.
Yes, sir. Right.
I didn't say to spend.
Right.
I said at my disposal.
Right. Emergency.
Right. I might spend $1,000, but I need another $1,000 just to make sure I make it home. And then on how far you're going, it could be more than that.
Right.
You're talking about Asia and all that. Oh, you're gonna need a safety blanket. Right? How much it is up for debate. But I'm not leaving the United States easily without I said $3,000, either some in cash, some in credit, and, you know, that I can put my hands on if I have an emergency. That's my mentality.
Right.
This is not for, you know. Now, some guys, they've never been exposed to this numbers of beautiful women in their life.
Right.
And they're excited.
Yeah.
And they can have them.
Yeah.
At a price.
Yeah.
So if you don't have self-control, you're going to end up sitting in the airport, looking for a GoFundMe. So, you know, I'm just glad that I kind of had to learn the hard way without the lights, without the social media, because the mistakes that I made, there's no documentation of it.
Right. Hold your tight, brother Pablo. Shout out to my man Bill Gills for the 5. I appreciate it. And also shout out to Messi Michon for the $5 super sticker. Thank you, dear. And thank you for tuning in. But this is an indictment, to say the least. Go ahead, Theo. Hold tight. Go ahead, Theo.
I definitely have a comment on that. When I was abroad, again, I'm going back abroad next year. I'm going back permanently. And the guys who hooked up real quickly, like in the first week or so, those guys usually like flamed out. And it wasn't just black men, it was European men, white guys. And we would just look at them like, you don't know what's going on. You don't know who she is. Like, you don't know what this environment is. I mean, sure, you could find love, but I mean, it's going to be really rare. And a lot of the times it was a predator. So we would just kind of sit back and say, hey, let's just relax for a while, soak it in, go talk, get a normal routine, have structure, and then start talking to the natives and see how that goes. When we talk that way, oh yeah, that we had normal relationships, we had normal structure. So for me, when I was in Japan, I didn't really date for the first 2 years. And after that, I was a dating machine. I couldn't stop. But I was fluent in Japanese. I can read and write it. I knew what good and bad was. And the women had taught me what kind of women were good and which ones to avoid and where to go and what the expectations were. So I knew I had a reference. But a lot of these guys, what Pablo is saying is right. Some of these guys get off the airplane. They've never seen women like this before. They have this idea that they're going to have 2 women. I'm like, really? I'm like, do you understand the legal environment here? You have no lawyer, right? You understand that, right? They can do anything they want to you. They don't have to give you a call to the embassy if they don't want to. They can say you lost your phone. So, like, do you really want to chance it? They're going out, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this and that. 1 month they're out of the country. And that don't last.
I'm going to show you guys. We're going to get deeper into it, guys. Hold tight, Theo and my man, hold tight. We'll finish listening to what this brother's saying, Ed Traveler. And guys, let it marinate and think about what this brother is saying as we get deeper into it, guys. Hold tight.
As long as you take into account the fact that the chain you might be wearing might be the annual salary of a local in that country. And it puts you on the radar. There might be a target on your back. Again, you're a grown A man. That's how you express yourself. That's how you want to roll. I'm not judging you. No disrespect intended. To each his own. But also realize in the world that we live in, those are examples that exude wealth. Going into a gentleman's club or a strip club in a country, throwing money in the air. I mean, I live in the A. I live in Atlanta. I don't really do the strip club things, but the couple times I've done it, I've seen them throwing 20s, 50s, 100s in the air. You go down to a country where the exchange rate is 4 to 1. So 1,000, 2,000 pesos is like 25 to 50 cents. And you throwing that in the air, it's an insult. And again, that's not what's done in that country. And you're drawing attention to yourself. So just keep that in mind. And to the more experienced brothers in this Passport Brothers and Black Men Travels movement, let's try to educate. Let's try to look out a little bit. I'm
going to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So let me ask you a question, Pablo. Can they be educated from your perspective, brother?
The answer is some will be able to be educated, absolutely. Others, maybe not. For example, I've told the story many times of the time I went to Colombia with a high school buddy of mine. I had not hung out with this guy in many years, together, us in the same place, kicking it. Well, he got himself into a situation with a working girl where he didn't want to pay her. He thought round 2 was on the house. Well, I'm sitting in a bar overlooking the park, and they're back at the condo, and I get a call from the Airbnb manager, who is speaking to me because I'm the only one that speaks a little Spanish. So he's talking to me on WhatsApp. He says, "Hey, your amigos, no dinero para la mujer. Your friends don't have any money for the girl." She said they're going to call the police And if that doesn't work, she's going to call her amigos in the barrio, in Comuna 13, to come down and take care of it. Well, guess what? Prostitution is legal in Colombia. They can call the police on you.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'll be right. I'll be right there. Left my little plate, my little spot on the rooftop bar to go down and deal with this. Well, I go down there. Lo and behold, I find out he don't have any money. He came down with $200 in his pocket.
Wait, hold up, man. Hold tight, Pablo. Shout out to my man, Counselor, Mr. G, live for the 10. He said, good panel of culture. Shout out to Theo and Pablo. Traveling is not a broke or uncultured man's sport. If you're trash in the States, you'll be trash overseas. I appreciate it.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Pablo, do me a favor, brother. When you get a chance, share the stream with your people because they need to hear what you're saying, but also hear how this is important. Because many of these guys, Pablo, are from single parent homes or baby mamas homes, and many times, Pablo, when you challenge them, and guys, y'all going to hear what this guy said. He said it like 500 times, but you can tell he's uncouth and he's not structured. And many times, guys, the young man said this when he got frustrated because he was raised by a baby mama. He said, "Oh my mom."
Yeah, put chain on the balls on my mom. That be broken balls. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back. He look like
gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my.
Well, he says on my mama, man. You know, on my mama, because you know that's what you see now in society. But tell the audience about this man that had only $200. I want you to break it down, man, because this is very profound. This is very profound.
So after I made it, after I made it back to the condo, I go upstairs. Now, we were with another gentleman who is a high earner, right? This guy works cybersecurity for the NSA. You guys know what the NSA is? It's the National Security Organization. Those are the guys that tracked down Osama bin Laden and told the Navy SEALs where to go and get him. Because they tracking him on the cell phones and GPSs and all kind of crap. So anyway, I go up, I tell him, I say, look, you have to pay the girls. I say, you have to. I don't care what the understanding was, where you got your signals crossed or whatever. You got to give it up. I say, now, I'm going to go down here and talk to him, you know, try for a few minutes for you to work it out. I said, but they said either she's going to call the police or she's going to get the homies from the barrio. I said, so you got about 4 minutes to figure out between the two of y'all who's going to pay these girls. I said, because I'm not paying them. I said, but one of y'all, you're going to end up in Colombian prison, Colombian jail, if you don't figure it out. I go down, a few minutes later, they come down. My other guy that works for the NSA, he pays his bill. This is not a uneducated guy. This is a guy with a college degree. So sometimes it's a mentality that you have to let go of when you walk down that jetway. Right? You got to leave finesse culture, game, all that foolish talk that they talk about around here. You got to leave a lot of your American westernized thought processes behind. There are no freebies for the most part. You got to leave that behind. You know, I'm not saying you leave your own individual, morals and all of that behind, but all of that trying to get over and all of that, you gotta toss that aside. It's not gonna work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot of static in the back. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if that's me. You guys hear that static? It's back and forth. All right, let me show you guys something real quick, man, with this passport Pookie. Hold tight.
This is Ed with Ed Travels.
Shout out to Ed Travels.
Not feelings. Safe travels to you all. Peace.
Yo. What up, y'all? I'm here still in DR. I missed my flight last night. I just got off the phone with Spirit. I'm waiting on them to call me back. It's $100 reschedule fee. Basically, I need a cash app, guys. I need a cash app to try to get this fee together, man. I'm so sick right now. I'm sick as hell. I've been trying to call Kayla because I know she's like in the area. So I've been trying to call her to like set something up to where I can get like some actual money because I'm hungry. I have very little bread left. I maybe got like $15. I'm just calling on the subscribers now to see can I get another 100 to get the reschedule fee. They try to make me book for a whole nother ticket. I can argue with that guy. I don't got them customer service with Spirit for about had to be at least 45 minutes. I'm damn near, I don't know if y'all can hear, I done lost my voice yelling up there and then yelling at customer service. Yeah, man, this trip turned out to be so bad, yo. This trip was so crazy, guys. I got Spirit calling me back, but I just know I needed to hop on here and just see if you guys can help your boy out. Get your boy Can anybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Let me know if everybody can hear me. Let me see. Audio.
What I find deplorable, man, this young man is crying. That's definitely some passport Pookie behavior, man. But
well,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sometimes experience is the best teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta take it on the chin to learn your lesson.
Guys, somebody got some static in the background. I don't know where that static is coming from. Is that you, Pablo? I think it's you, Pablo. It's like a lot of static in the back, man. But Theo, you saw it. What was ruminating through your mind, man, when you saw this foolishness, man?
Let him suffer. He deserves what he gets. I wouldn't even, if I were walking next by him, I would deny that I speak English. No mercy at all. None. Irreprehensible behavior. No, pathetic. I would give him no mercy.
Why is it irreprehensible to you, Theo?
It's weak. He's not organized. There's some things I can understand, but actually going online he's organized enough to beg for money, but not organized enough to take care of himself.
Theo, mute yourself for a minute, brother. That might be you. I think it's you, Theo. Do it again.
Oh,
yeah, it's you, Theo. Yeah, you got a lot of static in the back, man.
Hold on, let me take.
Yeah, it's you, Theo. All right, guys, we're gonna finish playing it. Pablo, it wasn't you, it was Theo, by the way. But let me finish showing you guys this foolishness. Hold tight.
Audio. Yeah, I got it. Audio's good. Yeah, man. Stuck here. We were at this hotel. $16 a day. I got it till tonight. I'm about 10 minutes away from the airport, not far. Somebody drop a comment. My comments are not popping up. Let me know what's going on with the comments.
Can you pause it for a second?
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to get the money together, whatever you.
Go ahead, Theo. Pablo. Go ahead, brother.
So, places like Sosua can give guys a false sense of security. And what I mean is, because it's so tourist heavy, and there's always somebody around speaking English, and they got a Pizza Hut, and they got, everything that, a tourist that doesn't speak any Spanish, would need. Even the girls, a lot of them know English, especially in that area. Around Sosua, lots of them speak English and Spanish, right? So what it does is you begin to kind of forget. You begin to kind of, I won't say forget, but you become a little bit too comfortable, even when you're a new traveler, that you're not in a foreign country, and it's not going to be easy if you run out of money, if you run into trouble with the law, if you offend somebody. Feel a little bit too safe too soon. Right? Whereas maybe if he would have started in Santo Domingo, the culture shock would grab him a little bit. Because when I first went out of the country, I had to, it shook me a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit tentative. I nobody's just speaking English around me. I'm having to adjust my behavior. But when you drop in and everything is just laid out for you, and everybody's speaking English, and every fast food restaurant you like is around, you let your guard down. You're free with your wallet. Now you spent all your money and you ain't got enough to make it back. You're late for, first of all, he was late for his flight. Mistake number one. You're late for your flight. You bought a budget ticket. You bought a that doesn't allow you to make a change.
Right.
So if you're late, you got to pay. But see, when you're not an experienced traveler, you don't know that. So he was just in a whole ball of wax that he wasn't ready for.
But Theo said let him suffer. Go ahead, Theo.
I say let him suffer. I changed my mic, turn the fan off. Should be better.
Yes, better. Way better.
So basically, he's organized enough to ask for money and beg for money, but he's not organized enough to take care of himself in the country. And the way that I've always approached foreign travel has always been like when I was going to the rich white section of town, and I would know who I was there. I would know it very quickly. I know that like people were looking at me. They all knew I was black. They knew where I came from. They would know, for example, I was in high level courses in the high school or in the elementary school. But I was there on their mercies or on their graces. That said, I was a guest. I didn't necessarily belong there, right? And every country I've gone to, I've always had that point of view. I need to have an exit strategy. I need to understand them. I need a way to get out. That guy going there thinking like, oh, it's just cheap. He can do anything he wants with $200. Oh, to the curb, to the ditch. I have absolutely no mercy for him at all. Nothing. I mean, again, going crying, begging online. Nah, man. Go get a job. Go figure it out. You gotta. How about you take a month and you sit there and try to figure out how to make some money, and then you go back like a man.
Right. Yeah. I want you guys to count how many times this young man said, "on my mama." And once again, that is a sign of arrested development. And the fact that he's crying speaks even more volumes to his level of pathology, consistent with being in a home probably of a baby mama. Hold tight.
I don't care if it's $5, $10, whatever you can. What's up, yo? I need this flight money to get back from Sasua. Stuck in Sasua. I need a $100 reschedule fee. Yeah, man, I'm stuck in the Sioux. This trip has been so great. I'm so mad. I'm about to be the airport so early with my shit ready to go. Yeah, man. So I'm stuck here. Stuck here in DR. Stuck here in DR. Hit the Cash App. Help your boy get home if you can. I had still a great time, but this kind of everything, a few things just soured the whole trip, yo. God, a few things just soured the whole trip. This trip went from good to bad. This trip went from good to bad, yo. But let me know if y'all can hear me. Virgo guy, let me know if you can hear me, Virgo.
What happened?
No,
Shout out to my man Jim Rather for the $5, $9 super sticker. He said that when went to Santo Domingo last summer, definitely a culture shock. My friends and I had to move accordingly as soon as possible. Travel game will eat you alive if you don't move accordingly. I really appreciate it, brother.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
I appreciate
this.
That's
a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
I appreciate it, brother Jim Ryder. But hold tight, finish listening to it. Hold tight.
I'm sick, bro. I just stuck at the hotel. Found the little hotel for $16 a day. Taxi guy took me here. So it's a little roach motel, but it's cool. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to get the money together for the reschedule fee, man. I'm waiting on Spirit to call me back. You know, well, I gotta really call Spirit back. I told him to call me back, but I gotta call Spirit back with the money. So you guys can just send it through. I'm
and he got a bad cell phone too.
I've been crying all morning. It ain't crying. I'm just my anger. The anger.
You anger at yourself? Yeah.
The anger. Anger tears, not sadness tears. Straight up.
You know, Pablo, you and I both went to North Carolina Central, man, home of the Eagles, man.
Eagle Pride.
Eagle Pride amplified, baby. Him and I are both Eagles, man. We went to NCCU. And, You know, being a mature man, do you see some arrested development from your purview? What levels of arrested development do you see?
Well, you know, first let me say this. This is an actual. This actually flies in the face of one of the criticisms that we as passport bros get, that we try to make it seem like a utopia. Like, oh, everything is great, it's all gravy. And no, we talk about all the stuff that can happen.
Right.
All these digital nomads you see traveling all around, video vlogging and all of that. Ask them all about the times that they slept in an airport because of cancellations, delays, not money stuff, just regular, because the flight crew didn't arrive and they had to cancel the flight, and now you stuck for 2 days. Oh, it happens. It goes down.
Right.
Yeah. So please be aware, we talk about these things. Now, as far as this gentleman goes, it seems like he lacks a lot of some discipline. He's late. He doesn't realize how much money he's spending when he's spending it. He's a bit immature. He's angry, but he don't even know who he's angry at. It's got to be himself. He's the only one that did this.
Right.
So, yeah, like you say, on my mama. Yeah, on my mama.
Shout. Well, hold on. This is for Chantel, man, because people think I'm crazy when I say this, man. But these boys identify with their mamas. Y'all, as a licensed therapist, I'm telling you guys, it's introjection, it's internalization, it's identification, and then it's projection. And many times when I worked in law enforcement as a CO, but also when I worked in juvenile justice, because many boys born in single parent homes or baby mamas, many times when they get frustrated, guys, I promise you, they're going to say it every time. They're going to say, oh, my mama.
Yeah, put chain on them balls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom. They back me look like
That's on my monkey. That's on my monkey. That's on my monkey.
It's on my mama, man. and they'll take you out, too.
Hey, kosher clinician, have you ever heard this term? Poor impulse. Have you ever heard this term, kosher clinician? Poor impulse control.
Yes, they have poor impulse control, which is synonymous many times to a lot of women. Sadly, who overspends many times? Women who make reckless decisions a lot of times. Women do. Not saying that men don't as well, but they have poor impulse control. And y'all listen. I need somebody to count how many times this young man say "on my mama," and he's going to prove my point. Hold tight.
Stuck out here in the street, stuck in DRLO, man. Missed my flight. The fucking the booking counter, the boarding pass counter closes an hour before your flight leaves. I literally was there I was there still an hour before my flight left. So I wasn't late. I just wasn't there early enough. And that's what made me so mad. And then they started laughing at me like it was fucking funny. I spazzed, yo. I fucking spazzed. Then nobody was speaking English. I fucking spazzed, yo. I freaking spazzed. So yeah, man. Y'all see the cash app? Y'all see what's going on? I need $100 for the flight to get home. If you can send $5, I don't care if it's $5, $2. Send it on Cash App. I'm waiting on I'm gonna Spirit as soon as I get the 100 we need. And I'm trying to get home, man. I'm on the phone. Few things happened that made this trip so bad, yo. Few things. The laptop, missing a flight. You know, this extra money spent in other places. The budget. A lot of things made this trip way worse than my first trip, yo. Straight up. I just I just didn't know about the whole hour ahead of time. Like,
More like 3.
you have to be there an hour before. Like, they closed the boarding pass thing, and I just was like, "Are you serious?" I was there an hour before.
Pause that.
Okay, hold tight. Go ahead.
Man. Yeah.
You need to be 3 on an international flight, people. 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right, Theo?
So when I left Brazil last year, we had to take the virus test at the airport. It took 4 hours. So you had to do 4 hours before the 3 hours. So I was there 8 hours before my flight, to be honest. And I made sure with my hotel everything was legit. They're like, yeah, we got it all arranged for you. You know, all you have to do is get out of your taxi. We arranged the taxi for you. It's already paid. All you have to do is get out. We'll lead you directly to the clinic and have the coronavirus taken for you. You can go to the bar if you want to. And it was still done, right? So him not knowing like that, that's not even newbie. That's beyond comprehension, irresponsible. He deserves to stay there. Like, if I heard somebody, my friend, were talking to me like that and said, just give me $100 when I get out, I'd be like, you stay. Nah. I don't care. I'm rich. You're going to stay right there.
Come on, Theo. You're going to be hard on them.
Yeah. I'm not going to give anybody any mercy because they wouldn't give any mercy for me because they actually deserve that level of education to not do that again. Like, that's pretty bad. I mean, it's one thing, for example, like if the car broke down, your taxi broke down, you got shot at, somebody stole something from you, stole your passport, something like that. Okay, I understand that. Okay, I'll come help you. But if you're just like oversleeping, that's what it was. It's oversleeping. Oh, no.
A kosher clinician.
Go ahead, brother.
Here's another thing that strikes me.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
He didn't have anybody he could call for $100. I got at least 4 friends I can call in an emergency right now that will give me $100.
Yeah,
that ought to tell you something about your circle of friends.
Right.
I've helped them before. They've helped me. I know I can get. I know I can get between 100 and 500 with some of the dudes I know because these dudes got they all right. I'll be like, look, on Friday I get paid. I give it to you. I'm in a situation. They won't even ask me why. I say I give it back to you on Friday on the Cash App. I say how much you need? 300, 500, 100. Got it. I've done it before.
You've done it before, right?
Yeah. Because guess what? They've done it to me.
Right. I got stuck in Brazil, guys. The second time I went, for some reason I got the times confused, man. It said like 11 o'clock at night, and so I was thinking, for some reason I was thinking it was 11 o'clock Sunday, but it was 11 o'clock that Saturday night. And man, I was flabbergasted, man. I mean, I had plenty of bank, man. I had plenty of money, But when they told me I was going to have to pay, so basically the flight they were trying to say, because I got it through, I forgot where I got it through, but they were basically trying to say I was going to have to stay, had to fly to Canada, then fly from Canada back to America. And I was, nervous about getting the bug shot. I didn't want to do that. And luckily I was able to call Delta or American Airlines, I forget which one, and just pay the difference for the flight that I had already paid for. So that basically made me pay the difference for the flight that I already paid for. But man, it was scary, man. Can't speak Portuguese. I was at the airport, the aeroport hotel in Brazil, and luckily there were some good people there that looked out for me, man. But I'm not gonna lie, it was scary, man. Your plane is gone, you stuck, you don't have a backup plan. I'm like, damn, where am I go at, and luckily I was able to get a room for the night. I was exhausted, man, but you're correct, man. You can't damn travel international, man, like you were saying, Pablo, without at least having at least $5,000 worth of disposable income just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally make sure that I can pay for at least 1 week in my same level. Like, I've been abroad. Not only have I lost my visa before, I've lost my passport before while I was traveling. So now when I travel, I have a pack in my carry-on. I have a copy. I have a copy of my passport. Okay. I have a copy of my social security card, my driver's license.
So Theo, walk us through walk us through what do you do when you lose your passport? I take a photo of mine and email it to a friend or whatever, but tell us what can be done for you if you lose a passport.
Well, I usually stay where there's an embassy really close because I've lost my passport before. So all you have to do is wait for the embassy to open. Then you go in there and then you show them your birth certificate. I travel with my birth certificate and then my social security card, my driver's license, and the copy of my previous passport. Plus, I have American dollars on me in cash. So whatever it is, whatever I have to pay for expedite, I pay it. And they're like, okay, cool. Then you can get it the next day. Or sometimes they'll issue it the same day. Depends on how bad the situation is. But if you have everything's legit, they'll usually like, okay, here you go. And you can go. You can leave. So last time it happened, I was stranded 3 days in that country. Right? And I couldn't move at all. But it was fine because I had, like $1,500 in cash, something like that. So I just paid in the hotel. I worked remotely. I was okay.
Yeah, but you got bank, and a lot of these guys don't have bank. Shout out to my man D Charles for the 5. He said the problem is he's already begging before the trip for money to get back, and it's embarrassing, man, to say the least, man. I see a cloud of dust coming from this young man. A whole cloud of dust.
I ain't gonna miss this one. I'm gonna be there fucking 2 hours before today. I'm gonna be living up there. I'm going up there about midnight. I'm only 10 minutes away. Shout out. We got 25. We just need another 75. Somebody subscriber just sent 25 through. Straight up. He didn't want me to put his name out there. I'm not putting your name out there. I appreciate you, though, Salon. I'm stuck at the DR. I'm at the hotel right now. As you can see, it's not a scam. I missed my flight last night, if y'all didn't tune in, because the boarding counter closed an hour before my actual flight left. I was there at 2:45. My flight wasn't until 4. I was late for the fucking flight, yo. So I have to pay $100 reschedule fee. And we got 25 of it so far. Shout out one of the subscribers who sent it through. I appreciate you, man. And we could just get another $75. And I could be back in the United States, bro, with my people. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry this happened. Just unfortunate, just not knowing, like, just thinking it's an airport. Who thinking, they say be there 2 hours before, but that's just to give you enough time to get through TSA. Here, you actually have to be there 2 hours before because the fucking boarding thing, the Spirit closed the counter. I was literally like 2 minutes. I was charging my phone, went over there. I would get the e-ticket, charge my phone up, and when I got to the counter, they was like, "No, we closing. You can't." And I just lost it. I just lost it after that. This shit was crazy. That food smell good. They got some good breakfast going on in this one. I'm hungry. I got goddamn it, $4 Dominican pesos. This flight was crazy. This trip was crazy. Shout out, guys. Yeah, we begging with Rello. Broke Rello. Deep like, what happened to you last night? Begging with Rello to your girl. I said, hello. Stuck in the suit. Who sent 20? Somebody sent 20 through? No. We at 25. We need another 75. Another $75, guys, to get the flight booked in. Let me know. iCity, I'm gonna drop the link. Come on, bro. I'm so sick right now, G. I'm stuck in the DR. I'm in Santiago. I'm probably about 10 minutes away. Quan, shout out Quan.
Now, Pablo, I want you to tell the audience, you travel extensively to Santiago, Dominican Republic.
Santo Domingo, but I've been through
Santo Domingo.
I've been to Santiago. My sister-in-law lives in Santiago. Yes, very familiar with it.
What could have happened to this young man being stranded in that country? What could have happened?
what could have happened. Right. DR is relatively safe, but one of the biggest things that probably could have happened is, he could have gotten taken advantage of even more. Right? So, what I don't understand about this, most of all, like I said, is you're going public with your personal struggles. As a man, don't you have some pride, some dignity, some, you know what I'm saying? I've had things happen to me, but I'm not going to like broadcast it to the world. And to me, that's a very feminine kind of a
right
thing, is to plead and beg, unknown strangers on the internet. That GoFundMe and all that. Men either have relationships that they've built with other people, or they've made contingency plans.
Right.
And I'm not saying you're going to be ready for every situation, but something as simple as that is usually, most of the three of us, I'm sure, on this panel could have handled the, missing a flight, or,
right,
a cancellation, or the simple stuff.
Right. I agree. I agree 1,000%. Theo, did you want to add to it as you play it? Did you want to add anything?
I agree. Him not being able to have a backup plan, especially for family or anybody. No, man. And the thing is that he is so calm and organized when asking for money. That means this has to have happened before. He had to have known. Like, for example, if let's say that I got totally knocked out, something bad happened abroad. I mean, I guess like really vicious happened to me. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't have, my phones aren't set up to even accept cash apps. I'd have to go get Wi-Fi someplace. I wouldn't know what to do. I'm not set up that way at all. So like, I'm just looking at this guy, like, how could you so easily accept money? Like, really, like, what's going on with you, man? And, I mean, I give money away, but I mean, I'm not set up to receive it. So I'm just like, why aren't you taking care of yourself? Really? I mean, why aren't you doing this? Why don't you have a backup plan? Because I mean, for myself, I hit rock bottom in America. I was homeless before.
Oh, wow.
And after that, I mean, I made sure that I had backup plans for my backup plans. So in case I go abroad or anything else, if something bad happens, because it happens, I'm good. Like, I can take care of myself. He's not even cognizant. So he's going abroad, allowing him to have that much exposure and crying on video. Man, no mercy.
Yeah, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. Hold tight.
Quan just sent 20. All right, so how much is that? 55. We need another $55, guys. If we can get another $55 to book this reschedule fee. Shout out to chat. Appreciate y'all so much. I just need another 55. If we could just get 10 here, 15 there, I'll be at the 100 I need to get back. I'm so shitty right now. Thank you guys so much, man. God, I just can't believe this, man. I had still had a whole hour and couldn't even get on the plane. That was irking me, yo. That irked me so bad. I'm never flying with Spirit ever again, yo. I'm never flying with Spirit. I tried to have Pedro come back all the way back from Sasua to come get me. He was like, no. He didn't say no. He offered to come at 8 o'clock, and I was like, I'm not staying up for 4 hours. That was a big ask for him to come back all the way back from Sasua to come pick me back up just to have to come drive me probably right back. So shout out Pedro. I was mad at him, but I just was thinking in my head, if I was in his position, I probably wouldn't want to come back neither. But I did handsomely pay him, and he still had my car rental, so he could have done it. So it's just a lot. You know what I mean? Just a lot going on. So shout out, Quan. I got the 20, Quan.
Kosher clinician. Just for reference. Just for reference, Sasua and Santiago are somewhere's about the difference between, I want to say, Durham or Raleigh and Greensboro. That's about the distance between Raleigh and Greensboro. So it's not close, but it ain't somewhere you just trying to hurry up and rush and come right back to pick up somebody
Right.
who don't have no money.
Mm-hmm. Right. Hold tight. I can stop it.
They close an hour before. I was thinking it was like the States where you still have time. But they do things different in DR here, y'all. I missed my flight. Long story short, it's gonna cost me $100 to get back. I need another $55. We can get that locked in from the chat to get your boy back home. I appreciate you guys. Shout out Quan. Shout out the other guy who sent money. He didn't want me to be the thing.
Hey, you stuck up out there?
Bro, I missed my flight, bro. I wasn't there early enough, bro, to fight. I still had a whole hour. I was so mad, yo. I was so mad. I was there at 2:47. My flight wasn't until 3:45, and they was closing the fucking thing up, G. You hear me? Hello?
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I can't.
I'm sick.
I'm not even gonna lie. I can't even say nothing about that. Because that's the same way I be moving. I don't be wanting to wait no 2 hours in the airport. When I be there, I be trying to get there like right on time.
Yeah, me too. I thought an hour was good. I'm like, I still got a whole nother hour before the flight leave. They closed the thing. I couldn't even get. They like, yeah, we closed an hour. But I'm like, hell no. I spat. They started laughing. That just made me. I flew off because they was laughing because I started getting mad and they was like not speaking on
Pause it.
I'm like, dude.
Now you see, okay, these are his friends.
Right. That's the friends.
Oh, we trying to get there right. If you're international, if you're gonna fly internationally, you can't do that. You can try it. You can try it, but you better have, like we were saying, you better have some contingency money for your screw ups. Because being late is one of the most costly mistakes you're going to make in international travel. Being late is going to cost you. An hour? Man, you can't make it through security in Atlanta in an hour. You're going to need three hours. And yeah, during COVID, 4.
Yep.
You got to go take that test.
Yeah, that guy has no idea what he's doing. It's like he just told him like what one man said, his passport should be revoked. Yeah,
he just green as hell, green in a
green.
Yeah, he's a green gringo. Definitely a green and a dusty one too. Hold tight.
Anybody speak English? It took about 10-15 minutes to get somebody down there that spoke fucking English, bro. I was so mad, bro. I was so mad.
That's why you gotta speak that Spanish, boy. Damn. So where you at? You in Santiago?
I'm in STI. I'm about 10 minutes away from the airport. I've been calling Kayla, but she ain't answer. I know she's probably like the closest. She says she's only like 10 minutes away from the
El
from the
hombre
airport.
es muy estúpido.
Yeah, man, I'm just
Kayla
She
is not coming to save you.
Mucho problema
I mean, she told me. I talked to her last night. You know what I'm saying? She was kind of distraught. She got some personal stuff going on, but I was like talking to her last night, and she was like telling me like, make sure you make sure you be in touch like all the way up into the flight, like, you know what I'm saying? On my mama.
Hold on, guys, hold on. On my mama, that's one. Let me see that dust.
Para mi madre.
Para mi madre. That's one of
them.
Yeah,
put chain on them balls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back me look like
gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my.
We got one soul seed. Come on, we got one.
Okay. What up, G?
A cloud of dust.
Nigga Kevin T just sent another 20 on my mama. All we need now is another $35.
That's two on my mamas. Hold on. That's two.
Yeah, put chain on them balls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back me look like
gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my.
You could tell this boy was raised in a baby mama home, man. I'm telling you, man, y'all think I be joking. I'm joking, but I'm serious at the same time. when you see this kind of pathology and lack of self-awareness, many times this young man or men like him are the spawns of single-parent homes or baby mamas. Keep listening.
And we still need another $35. We need another $35, and I'm to go.
So how much? So would you getting the money to get your reschedule? So what happened with the flight you had? That's the money just go away?
What you mean the flight I had? Yeah, they
Like,
charged me $100.
You had a flight and you missed it. You don't get no credit.
They listed it as a no-show, and I was like, no, I was there. Like, they know I was there, but they just want to be assholes, yo, and made it seem like I just didn't come. They listed it as a no-show. They tried to charge me a whole nother $500 for a whole nother, and then I was yelling, bro. I got on that motherfucker ass. I don't know, I got on his ass. I got on that, whoever that was from Spirit, I got on his ass, that customer service guy. He tried to charge me. It was like another $533 for a whole nother tip. Swear to God, I'm like, fuck no. It was like, we can do a reschedule fee. I was like, I'm gonna wait this. I'm like, I have family, I have wife. I'm like, I don't have no 500. You know what I'm saying? On my mama, nigga.
Yeah. That's three. That's three on my mamas.
I jacked, bro. I jacked. So we need another $35 to get us the reschedule fee. I'm stuck in DR. If anybody can, I don't care if it's $5, $10, it all adds up. Help your boy get home. Missed the flight. I was an hour. I was thinking, like, that ice. You can't really. I want to blame myself, but I don't, because I'm like, I'm thinking an hour to still, what I'm saying? Like, I just a straight unforeseen circumstances. I didn't know, bro.
Yeah, no, you was definitely walking on a tightrope, nigga, and you for sure fell.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they stopped boarding an hour before the flight leaves. That's crazy to me, yo. That's crazy to me.
All right, so what did you? Yeah, okay, all right. That's what I was about to ask you. What was you gonna think?
I was there at 2:40. They stopped boarding at. Look, they stopped boarding at 2:45. I walked up to the counter at 2:47. I was literally 2 minutes from when they were like strapping down. I'm like, they typing on it, like packing up. I'm like, what's going on? I'm here for my 3:40. I'm here for my 3:45 flight. They like, no, we closed 2:45. We closed an hour before. I said no. I swear to God. I said, boy, I showed my ass last night. And this lady, they got the supervisor. I said, get her over here now. She had the power, and she fucking laughed. She thought it was funny, and that just sent me.
Now, guys, listen to what this Dusty Cat gonna say, man. Listen to what he's gonna say. This is what happens when you raise boys in homes where they over-identify with their mothers and they project through anger what they accuse others of doing. But listen what he said he was going to do. I need y'all to listen. This is what this cloud of dust said he was going to do. Hold tight.
Over the fucking edge. She was the lady that actually had the authority to let me on by being. I was 2 minutes away from. I was 2:47 getting my boarding pass on my mom. I was so high ice.
That's four, guys. Keep it coming. That's four on my mamas. That's four. Listen. That's four.
All right.
That's five. That's five on my mamas.
Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm listening. I'm just over here being like, bruh. So what you about to do today? When the next flight?
I'm about to get the rest of this. It's the same exact flight tonight. It's the same exact. They only have that one flight. That 3:40. It's the same flight. I gotta pay $100. I need another $35. Motherfucker sending the cash app through. Shout out Kevin T. Shout out Kevin T. I'm just trying to get the rest of the money to get the flight back home. Then I'm about to get off the live and call Spirit and lock it on in on my mama.
That's six.
So what you about to do until then?
I'm gonna just stay up here at the hotel. I was gonna call Kayla. I know Kayla's like the closest. I was gonna call her, see if maybe she wanted to hang out for a few hours. I'm just bored in the fucking hotel room. I mean, I'm gonna be like looking at editing videos, working on some content that I have. But nigga, I ain't, I'm just chilling. I got some food right here at this fucking in the hotel.
And you know what's sad, Theo and Pablo, this young man, they said no, he couldn't get the money. He would have been stuck because he didn't have enough money for food. So imagine they had to say you down here for another week or whatever. That's just poor planning, man.
I've seen ask most of the experienced traveler. We've seen guys like this stuck in the country for years.
Oh, wow. Years. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they end up running around hustling, doing whatever they can get to scrounge up, but they can never scrounge up enough to buy another ticket.
Wow.
And they just wander. And it ain't just it ain't mostly white guys. I got
white guys. Yes.
Every time I'm in Medellin, I run into a new white guy that's trying to run a scheme on me.
Mm-hmm.
Want me to invest in some business that doesn't exist.
Right.
Right. So, no, they out here.
Go ahead, Theo. You was about to say something, Go ahead, brother.
No, I agree. So in Ukraine, you get these kind of types around, though, usually older white men going through some sort of crisis. They don't have the money to go back, but they like staying there because everything is so cheap and the women are wonderful. I've seen this a few times in Brazil, not so much, to be honest. Japan, you couldn't do this. That's it. You're gone. You can do it in the Philippines. It's in the countryside, and if it looks like you have a visa, they won't care. Yeah, so those are the countries I've seen that kind of crap for. Exactly what Pablo is saying. Man, again, I have no mercy for him. I just have that. Like, he's just, the way he's talking right now, I'm just like, no, man, you should have known better. So.
Some of the stuff he's saying just flies in the face of logic. Okay. When you have about 170 people on a flight, they all got their own bags. They got kids, strollers, car seats, all this stuff. They got their luggage. How long do you think it takes to board that flight? It takes about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
They got the safety checks and all of that stuff that they have to do. Man, it takes about an hour. So if you arriving at the hour, you're not going to make it.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, he should have known better.
Yeah, that's a whole that's a whole cloud of dust, man. That's a cloud of dust. It's a whole cloud of dust.
Smells pretty good, but they don't have cash. I want to call Kelly because I wanted to cash app her like $4 or $5 so I can get me just a little bit something to eat from this this little barista place right here. They just hooked up to the hotel. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they ain't got cash app, and I ain't got no like actual physical cash, like physical pesos.
Nigga said, I know they ain't got no cash app. Hell no, they don't.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to have a lie to give me a little $100 to get back home. I had $40 left. I gave $20 to the taxi, and then I had to pay. Basically, it was It was damn near $20 for the fucking room. So man, now I just I'm so mad. This trip is so crazy. I'm fucking damn near losing my voice from yelling at that lady last night. Oh, I fucking japped on her. But when she started laughing at me, I just lost it because I just was like, "You think this shit's funny?" I almost went to jail out here, G. On my mama, I did spazzing on.
Hold up. That's 5. That's 6 on my mamas. And you hear what this kid said that was raising a baby mama home. He said, I almost spazzed out on this woman and I almost hit her. Go ahead, Pablo.
So we all know the disgruntled former passport bro known as Peso Man.
Yes. Right.
Well, let's run down the history of the Peso Man. Peso Man was in Uganda, bought a bike from a local Ugandan man. He didn't like how the bike was functioning, how it was working. He decides he's going to go and look up this man, find this man, and commence to beating on the man, fighting him while recording. Well, he jumped on a panel on Bernard Riley's channel a couple of years ago, and we all that were on the panel said, hey, man, that's a bad idea. You know, that Ugandan man could go back to his family, to his fellow countrymen, tribesmen, and, you know, they could dispatch with you and no one would ever hear from you again. We told him it was a bad idea. He got pissed and has been on a rampage against the passport bros ever since. This is a bad idea to go flex your, emotional, what they say, emotional damage. That's a bad place to go and try to flex your little emotions on people in a foreign country that you're gonna need to get your behind back home.
Right. I agree.
That's when you humble yourself.
Humble yourself.
Oh man, right. Oh please, oh my family. Oh no, you humble yourself. You don't go aggressive.
Right.
That's the wrong. No,
that's the wrong thing. I totally agree. And once again, man, that's what happens from a psychological perspective. It's called over-identification. That's what happens when you're born in homes where there are no fathers, and many times there are baby mamas. And because they're baby mamas, I think my man Sora's seat is already counted at least 7 times. They get mad, they become aggressive, and they say, "Oh my mama."
Oh yeah, put chain on the balls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom, bro. They back me look like.
That's on my monkey. That's on my monkey. That's on my.
And they're aggressive. They're very aggressive, Pablo and Theo, because I used to work with them. They don't think logically. They'll take your life, or they'll try to hurt you physically, and I'm ready for it because you damn try to hit me, you're gonna get this work. But they'll do it, man, and don't think nothing of it, man. When I worked in law enforcement, I saw it, man. They don't have no level of critical thinking skills, man. They think emotionally. They think on the fly. And I did this intentionally because when I kept listening to us, this guy keeps saying, "On my mama." He's already said it about 7 times. Most of these kids are growing up, these inner cities with our strong men, strong fathers. They think like women. They think impulsive. They think emotional. And they're very dangerous. That's why guys like that tend to be simps. And they always say, "On my mama." Tell this the audience about situations. My man said the count is 7. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. It ain't kosher, it ain't right. But tell the audience of situations, Theo, when you've seen guys like him that say, "On my mama," that's their war cry.
Locally in the United States, when somebody doesn't get something that they want, it could be the supermarket, a bus, taxi, something like that, sporting events, and they're getting angry. Alcohol, that's right, bars. They're not getting something that they want, some sort of service. And so they're yelling and screaming. And usually when I'm hearing something like that, I know that I'm in the wrong place. I need to get out. Yeah, need to leave.
Yeah, anytime you hear "on my mama," something stupid is about to happen.
Yeah, something about to happen. Right.
And so I'm black. That person's black too. They're not going to differentiate me from them. That's bad for me. So I need to get out of there. So I get out of there real quick. But I've had that more times in Illinois and Illinois, Michigan, and California. Not so many times here in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I've never in my life seen that. Hold tight. This friend's listen to it. Hold on. Hold tight.
Lady. You don't want to go to jail right there.
I swear to God, they start touching. I say, "Touch me again. Touch me again in here." Oh boy, I was so hot last night, too. That shit was so hot. I'm literally looking at the plane I'm supposed to be on with an hour left to get on. Do you know how mad you would be if you had a whole hour to still get on the plane? And they're like, "No, you can't get on because you." Oh man, I was sick. I was sick last night.
What time you leave Sakura?
12:30. Was it 12:30? On my mom. 12:30, about an hour.
That's 8. That's 8 on my mama's.
On my mama.
That's
I
9.
got there about, I want to say about 12:32, something like that. And then, long story short, because I had to charge my phone to get my confirmation number and I had to get my confirmation number and do my e-ticket shit. And I walked up to the counter, it was like 2:47. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to hop on a plane. And they like, yeah, we close an hour. I'm like, what? I spazzed. Oh, my mama, I spazzed. I'm the first person in line today, though. I ain't got to worry about it. I'm mad as fuck, bro.
Damn. You ain't got no cash. I know Santiago, like you said, they speaking more Spanish over there.
All right, enough dust,
Yeah,
man.
they had girl. It took them 10 minutes.
You guys get the picture, man. This young
I
brother got a lot.
I ain't missing this flight tonight.
He
Like,
got
I'll
he
get
got
right
a
in
lot.
front of that counter, and I want to see that same ass lady again.
Hold on. Yeah, he got a lot of dust, man. He got a lot of dust. Guys, I'm gonna drop the link. Y'all can come up and ask Pablo and Theo questions if you would like. Real quick, guys, I'm gonna drop the link. But what do you think about that monstrosity? The lack of self-awareness and the lack of masculinity. Starting with Theo and then Pablo.
It's a total shame. I mean, he sounds like a woman. He's totally gynocentric. I mean, if they're saying the same words, but it was a woman, it'd be like, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel sorry for him in a way, I guess, in the end. But he needs some sort of reform. But yeah, these are the kind of guys I'd avoid.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said, again, privately, I said, in the future, this will be like the only choice of man for most ABWs in the country, because competent men like Pablo, yourself, clinical clinician, we're going to be abroad. So we'll be leaving, but this will be what the women will have options to, Tyrone and this guy. So, hey, welcome to your future, ladies.
I think it's very interesting and fitting that the type of masculinity that's quote unquote celebrated in the hood is fucking useless where we go.
Right, it's useless. Right.
It's, excuse my language. It's
no,
useless.
you're fine. Right.
It's useless, and you can see it. This is a perfect example of what they think is they like to use the word a real nigga, right? They like to use that. That helps nothing in the real world at large. It's useless. His going off, his checking somebody and fussing and cussing and going ham on the people that behind the counter wouldn't help him do anything.
Right.
Nothing. Couldn't get him out. His failure to plan, his failure to organize his thoughts and plans. What good are they?
Right.
His fiscal irresponsibility. See, that's the dude that'll take you on a $300 date and be broke when he get home.
Right.
But they want these the type of dudes that they celebrate. Oh, you need to take me to this. He'll do it. He will do it because he has no foresight. No foresight to predict what's going to happen after he has all his fun. But these are the kind of dudes that that the community is full of. I'm gonna leave them to their own devices.
Yeah, and so am I, man. I work with them. I've worked with a lot of them, and I've seen their pernicious ways, man, to say the least. Guys, the link has been dropped. If you guys want to come on and have a conversation with me and Theo, you guys can ask them any question, guys. If you guys have not donated to the channel, go donate. Go check out Pablo Frescobar on his channel. And guys, the robot that's texted me, he said, listen, tell these Negroes inflation is up. And he said, get the likes. Theo and Pablo, what percentage of black men that travel would you say personify this type of behavior, in your opinion, based on your experience?
It can't be that many. I would dare say single digits.
Yeah, 5%.
Okay, 5%.
Somewhere around there, because most of the black men who are traveling, they have some sort of benefit. Like I've talked to military guys, they got some sort of backup. Family men, IT guys like myself, so they know what's going on. But I found guys like this who were like off base. That's that if they're going to be like a pookie like this, they're probably military already. They're already abroad. So, like for example, they're in Japan, but they had a weekend in the Philippines. They're acting stupid like that, and they have to get back on base. Like, yeah, that okay. I still wouldn't have any mercy for you. Go deal with it. Like, right? You're making me look bad. Stop it.
Yeah, it's not a good look, man. It's definitely not a good look, man. And I was so appalled when I saw it, man. But he definitely is a personification of a passport pookie or a pookma pirate because they go to the ecosystem causing chaos and also puking on the ecosystem. When you was in the DR, Pablo, before you married your wife, what were some of the behaviors that you deemed to be irreprehensible? I mean, what are some of the behaviors that you saw in the DR that really got you frustrated when you were there, Pablo?
I really didn't witness a lot of anything like this. I
saw stuff.
Yeah, I was starting to see guys a lot more reckless with their money. I did start to see that. Other than that, I really wasn't around a lot of this because you got to remember, I didn't start out in Sosua. I started in Santo Domingo, where it's not tourist friendly, right? Not like Sosua. So you have to be respectful of the people and the culture because it's not catered to you.
Right.
That's why I say Sosua gives a false sense of false comfort, right? So I had to really learn language, culture. I had someone to help me, but when they weren't around, I still had to maneuver kind of trial and error. I had to be respectful to people with locals because I needed information. Right? So I had to, which to me was a wonderful thing. The first time I went, when we left, we had a great time, but we were stressed. We were stressed because we were taking in so much coming at us that we had to, decipher a little bit at a time. And so the second time we said, okay, we learned a lot. Let's try to correct the mistakes that we made the first time. Right? And then we would correct those, we would go back and we would correct those mistakes and it get better. And we say, okay, yeah, that was good. And we did it again. And this time we cleaned up even more. But we didn't do it in front of the camera. We didn't do it at the expense of others, though. Like, in terms of like yelling at and getting aggressive with the woman behind the counter, right? Or the airline employees. It's not their fault that we messed up. That we some stupid gringos. It's not their fault. Ignorant gringos, as you say, in the classic sense of the word, ignorant, we just didn't know.
Right.
And to take it out on other people, again, that's a sign, like you said, of your immaturity. You on the titty of mama. You need to go on and play Tupac, Dear Mama, if it's gonna be like that.
People think that Dust Bowls can only travel, but and I know it takes a lot of money to travel. When it comes down to calibrating your mind, Theo, what must a man do to calibrate his mind for world travel? Because I said in the past, there are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become optimized, and world travel is one of those 7 principles that can erase the illusion or delusion about travel. What would you say is one of the elements that a man must go through in order to calibrate his mind for world travel, Theo?
Needs to learn the language, needs to talk to those people in his own country, needs to know the history. He needs to understand who they are from their own point of view, needs to respect them on his own level. What we, in linguistics, we say something called ego disintegration. So you need to stop thinking about yourself as being so important and so high up there, but you are on the same level as they are, and they are on the same level as you. When you start thinking this way, then any kind of superiority complex disappears, and actually you can acquire their culture, and integrate.
So Theo, let me ask you a question, and I'll answer this question myself as well. When you leave Western society and you go to an Asian culture, what kind of cultural behavioral changes do you make in your mind when you walk down that jetway before you get on that plane and land on that other continent? What kind of cultural ideas and changes do you make? Because I know I make some for Latin America.
Remove English from my head. That's the first thing. Then look for small detail. Remember that I need to be a part of a group. Remember that they have great food. They have a lot to offer. I need to integrate. And don't look at the women so much, even though they're hot, right? But be on my purpose. And truthfully try to find some places that I like to go out and have some fun. But so have a schedule, make myself busy.
But I'm thinking of something simple like toning down aggression, speaking softly, not slamming a car door.
Yeah. I lived in Russia for a year, and a lot of that, like, kind of Americanness was removed. Like, for example, like the verb "a," I don't say it that often. For example, I had it, say I had it, right? So I those kind of like hard consonants in English, start removing them because they're harder for people to understand. Don't use expressions like don't use to get, like I get used to it. I'm becoming used to this. Like this is a good situation for me. Like I have to remember to use a full sentence. Things like that, like, you know, if I'm going to use English, but also in the other language, make sure I'm communicating properly. And I'll don't be arrogant. It's a big one. Yeah.
So for me, all right, things like when I'm in Latin America and I enter a car and exit a car, not slamming a car door. And the reason why, and this can go on the African continent, in Asia, one of the things Americans have to remember is most of the world doesn't even own a car. So when you're getting into someone's vehicle, and I'm talking about outside of Europe and Canada, when you're getting into someone's vehicle, they may have saved up half of their life to buy this car. And you're getting in it, and you're boom. And no, you want to close that thing easy. It's respect, right? Respect. So one of the things I do, I lower the volume, right? I make eye contact when I'm speaking to someone, and, you know, thank you, muchas gracias. I become very grateful in my heart just for being, right? And this is a hard thing sometimes for Americans. Oh, here's the other thing. Patience. Everything is you're not going to get fast food. You are going to wait. It is going to be an experience to eat out. You wait, you're looking for all of this high level customer service and all of this. Relax.
Right.
You get it when you get it. I don't get in a huff because my food is not there, 5 or 10 minutes. You're gonna have to relax. I know that's true in Africa. Yeah. I know that's true in Africa. You're gonna wait.
I'll say a few more things on this. So typically when I go on the streets in another country, I don't even use my cell phone. I leave it at home because I don't need it and it's not useful. So like my Apple Watch, I don't use this at all. I don't bring anything blingy. So for example, like these earphones, right? It's obvious that they're nice, right? I keep these at home. I might bring something like this because it's black, so it just looks like a normal pair of earphones, right? But I don't want anything that shows wealth. Another thing too, especially if I'm in Europe, stop smiling. 100%. Like I want no smile. So like this is me in America, in Russia, in Ukraine, Eastern Europe. That's it. Like I look ahead or I look down.
Right.
Mind my business.
Right.
Don't look around, because if you're looking around and they see you looking around, you're gonna attract attention. They're gonna come for you. Kind of like Nope. Like the monster's gonna come if you make eye contact. You don't want that. So you just be very careful.
Now, one of my favorite, my country of preference is Colombia. One of the danger spots, right? Medellin at that. But let me tell you how I've been able to stay safe, knock on wood. After going to Colombia for the last 5 years, 4 times at a minimum a year, I walk fast and deliberate. Like you said, I'm not looking around like a tourist. I don't have my phone out, taking videos, pictures. No, it's in my pocket, and I'm strutting. I'm getting it. I'm walking with purpose. So I don't look like a mark. Here's another thing. Because I'm an older guy, a lot of the nightlife, I've kind of outgrown it. So my outings are much simpler. It's a nice restaurant. It's a high-end bowling alley. It's a movie theater. It's, Santa Fe Mall, which is really upscale. It's one of the most upscale, biggest malls, I think, in South America. Right? So I'm doing activities and things that aren't necessarily in that tourist zone that people are targeting. And by the way, Colombians also scopolamine other Colombians.
Right. Okay. So now that's an American thing. Right.
You're not special.
Right.
They scopolamine other Colombians. Matter of fact, they got it from women in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
On Tinder, the Tinder drugging and dating thing started right here in Atlanta about a decade ago. I can show you the articles. They didn't invent this. We did.
Right.
Yeah.
So just FYI, other Colombians get drugged and robbed too.
Interesting. Go ahead, Theo.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I always wondered about, like when Western women go abroad and they're taking all these photos and they're emphasizing it. I'm like, people can see you doing this. Like, why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense, because I would never do it. And so when they say, like, to the passport bros, like, we don't have all these photos and stuff, it's like, yeah, because we're smart. You don't do that. You only do it at certain places where it's safe to do so. For the most part, you're not carrying your phone around with you. You don't want to be seen with it. You want to have arrangements so that you can travel without it, or like my phone is huge. I've got a 13. So if I have to, I'll get like a small phone or something like that, something I can call an Uber if I need to, or something like that. But I usually have arrangements. If I need to have a taxi, I have arrangements already so that somebody will pick me up and take me where I need to go. That's because I don't know if I'm going to get like hurt or something like that in the taxi if I call like one randomly. So just in case, I have it arranged, right? Again, so other travelers, when they do this and they're just so carefree and laid back, I'm like, you're making yourself a target. Don't do that. Like that just like it's a newbie problem to do. They do it.
I got a travel buddy in the chat. Shout out to Carlos Red, Blue Book Gent.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos travels with about 3 phones. He's
Right.
got his, his personal home iPhone, $1,000 phone, right? He don't even take that out of the apartment or his hotel room. He don't even take that out. He frequents Africa. He frequents Ethiopia, Tanzania, Kenya, right? He's got another phone that's like a I don't know, one of these track phones, but it's got Android on it, so he can have WhatsApp, and he has that, right? And then he got some other like throwaway flip phone. I don't know what he does, but ask Carlos in the chat. He got more than one phone, and he uses specifically when he's in country. When he's in that country, he buys a SIM card and then he uses it, and so he doesn't walk around with it. Because guess what? In Africa, they got pickpockets,
right?
And they got him. They got him twice, I think. But he learned. That's why I say this is a learning curve. He learned, and now they can't get him. Or if they get him, it ain't much. Yeah,
right,
it's
right.
$45. It's a $50 phone.
Yeah. Guys, if you guys got any questions to ask Theo or Pablo, feel free to come on. And if not, we're going to end the stream in a minute. But I'm going to ask you a question. What did you get from the whole, the whole exploration of this particular show, man, and the psychology that you got to have when you travel? Starting with Theo.
What I'm getting is that, some people aren't ready, but we already knew that. So what they're trying to do is change the narrative and paint these guys as us, and it's not us as all. And it just, I'm really like, you really want these educated black men to really leave you in even higher numbers and even more quickly than before. It wasn't just enough of us, like we're going like thousands of thousands per year. No, you want tens of thousands of men leaving. So just keep it up, ladies, because the more that you do this, the greater our numbers become. Yeah. Keep the disrespect up. Yeah, we applaud you for it, because nobody can promote Passport Bros like a bitter ABW.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Go ahead, Pablo. What did you gather from the show, brother?
Yeah, so hey, I think it is an excellent tutorial on what not to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some clips. I'm gonna make some clips from it. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This is an excellent tutorial on what not to do. I hope that brother learns from this. I hope he made it home. I hope you made it home safely, brother. Let me be the first to say that. I hope you made it home. But sometimes a hard head make for a soft behind.
Right.
So, I hope you learn from it. And next time, travel smart. Make it to your flights on time. That's step number 1. You want to be there 3 hours early for an international flight. Number 2, you need to have some credit cards with some money on them, just in case you have delays, cancellations, emergencies, whatever. You don't want to be reliant, on the kindness of others.
Yeah.
Right? Although you might find some kindness, don't bank on it.
Right.
All right. So that's my advice. And I think this is an excellent tutorial for other people to see that, you Passport Bros, y'all try to make it seem like utopia. No, we don't. We tell you time and time again the dangers, what to look out for, things you need to be aware of, all of the things that can happen. We talk about this stuff. Y'all don't want to hear that part. All y'all hear is, the hoes over there. That's all y'all hear. But, I've done shows on travel gadgets.
What is travel gadgets? What is that?
Okay. For example, I have a travel safe, a safe that I use to keep my valuables in my room in case when I have guests, it's locked up. My cell phone, my passport, my wallet with credit cards, When anyone comes and enters my room, they are locked in this travel safe. It has a combination. It has a cable that I can lock down to a large object so they can't walk away with it. So my valuables are stored in that travel safe, so it's not tempting for them to try to steal it. The other thing, I have a backpack that has combination locks on it. So if I have my laptop, it's in the backpack and it's locked. So it's not sitting out and it's not tempting the people, right? So these are the kinds of gadgets and things that I talked about on my channel, but they only care about the chicks. They only care about the women's. So they hear what they want to hear. They hear what they want to hear. I understand. I get it.
Yeah, so let me comment on that. I mean, I've been on one of your shows. You're talking about what kind of credit cards you use, and that
talk about
me.
that.
And
talk about that. Right.
So there's this chargeable like prepaid card that you can use, and after that I went out and got one, so I have another 5,000 just in case I travel again. Just
it's called Passbook. It's called Passbook.
Yeah, Passbook. That's right.
Remnant.
So I got that as a backup, and I'm pretty happy with it. But there's dangers abroad and there's dangers in America, right? There's danger in our country. Well, we have, again, what Obsidian's been focusing on this for quite a while. You have to make a cost-based analysis of cost-benefit analysis and say, what are the benefits and likelihood of a profit or an outcome? And we say, look at the costs that we have abroad and the likelihood of a good outcome is much higher. So that's why we're so big on the other countries. Whereas we look here and we're like, the likelihood of really not being happy is high. So why would we spend our money here? Why would we do anything here? And, it's almost as if Americans think this country is perfect. Nothing's going wrong at all, right? Unless a white person does it. But like it's always somebody else, but my neighborhood's perfect. I'm like, no, your neighborhood's horrible. It's pretty bad. When I go abroad, it's wonderful. It's a great experience, but my eyes are open. Of course. I take precautions. I take a lot of precautions. I make sure where I stay at, there's security, right? I'll make sure people know who I am so that if I need to ask for help real quick, that they'll give me help. I make sure I go to only certain places to buy food. I'm pretty risk adverse, to be honest. I'm making sure the situation is good. If I bring my bike, I like bring my mountain bike to other countries. I make sure I have a mega lock on it, so you can't take it. I make sure to lock the entire unit down so it can't be taken. So I'm pretty cautious.
Could I share screen with you for a second?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, you talking about Obsidian? I was looking at that today.
No.
Is that it?
So these are the murder rates, homicide rates for major American cities, right? And I did a show about people, Colombia, the place I like to frequent, has a quote unquote crime problem, right? These are the murder rates per 100,000 people for the major American cities. You got St. Louis at the top at 69.4 per 100,000. You got Baltimore, 51.1 per 100,000. New Orleans, 40.6. So take a guess what the murder rate, the homicide rate is in Medellin, Colombia.
What is it?
Well, it's foreign. It has to be horrible. It has to be 2,000 at least.
It's 16.
Oh, wow. Only 16 people?
16 per
16%.
100,000. 16 per 100,000.
Oh, that's very low.
St. Louis is 69. You have to go all the way down. Let me pull up my other. Wait a minute. Get it back. You got to go all the way down to Atlanta at number 20.
Yeah.
To get to 16.
Yeah.
See that? So I want you to put there's crime and then there's danger.
Right.
Now, you're at more risk in Medellin of getting your property stolen.
Right.
But guess what? They're going to do it at the point of a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Because the average Colombian doesn't own a gun.
Mm-hmm.
We got more guns in the U.S. than people.
Mm-hmm.
They got to drug you because they ain't got no firearms, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Or not very many. You got to have a special permit as a regular citizen to own a gun in Colombia. So people wonder why, ask me why I'm not scared, why I'm not afraid of Medellin. This is why. Because my chance of getting my wig pushed back is greater in Atlanta than it is in Colombia.
Let me ask you a question between Colombia and DR. What's the difference, brother?
Oh, DR is much, I would say DR is safer.
Well, safer, okay.
Yeah, you have less chance of property. I'm a criminal justice major, brother. You remember? You know I know
Right,
this.
right.
So your chances of property crime and all of that are higher than it is in the U.S., but your chances of violent crime are much lower.
Right.
For the reasons that I just stated, the proliferation of guns and such, right? So Big Truck is a big Asian guy. So
yeah, let me comment that for Asia. So in Japan, they have less than 10 gun deaths per year normally, and most of those gun deaths are the Yakuza killing each other. And even if they do that, the government will come in and be very hard against the Yakuza for actually doing gun deaths. So you can walk outside at 2 o'clock in the morning and no one's going to mess with you. In fact, the Japanese won't be scared of you either, even if you're a big foreigner, because they'll be like, what are you going to do? You have no gun. You can't do anything. There's police around. We know. So they don't have any problems with you. So you could be drunk and walking home. Nobody's going to finesse you. Nobody's going to rob you. Nothing. It is wonderful. When I came back to America, I was so paranoid. I didn't know what to do. People had guns. The police had guns. People were trying to finesse. They're drugging. All these kind of problems. I never had those issues in Japan. I was paranoid. I was like, what kind of barbaric country is this? I don't want to be with these people anymore. Right? That was California. I was California first, and I was Minneapolis afterwards. So saying that it's so much better here and then the foreign is bad, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. And the big point that you're talking right there is the gun. They don't have guns, so they can't shoot you. So you can just run away if you really need to. I mean, just, or just make sure you don't have anything flashy. Make sure you're not a target. One of the things I like to do is I have like my wallet at the bottom of my shorts instead of being at the top. So there's a pickpocket. They hit my thighs, but I don't care, right? Because there's no money there. It's only at the bottom. And I just do those kind of little things so people don't understand that I've got anything. Hide everything else that I can. Go very low, and I'm not going to get robbed. I'm going to be fine.
One of my other gadgets is a money belt. You can go to Amazon and look up travel money belt, and it fits. It looks like a fanny pack, but it's not, because it's not worn on the outside of your clothes. It's worn on the inside of your clothes underneath your belt line. And I put my wallet, and sometimes even not my cell phone so much, but I put my wallet in my money belt, or I put some cash in there and one piece of ID and have my money belt underneath my clothes. I have a shirt on. You can't tell it. You don't see anything bulging out. I got my money. Even if they rob me, I stick my hands up. I pick pockets and I got nothing. So travel gadgets, I'm big on them. Money belt, travel safe, and a locking backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Can do a lot to keep your property safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's very good. That's a very good way. So again, them degenerating us for being passport bros. I'm just like, we're not for you. You can have Pookie. That guy who was crying in DR, that's your man.
That's your boo.
Go for him. Like, he needs you. He'd have a great time with you. I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not going to deal with him. You guys are made for each other.
Yeah. If you think he and I and Theo are the same, you're nuts.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
We're a different group. Especially if you go to another country. Yeah, you'll see that quickly.
Right. Totally different class, man. Totally different class. But I just want people to see the foolishness associated with men like that, and let people see how they should respond and how young men like this is just a reflection of a dysfunctional culture that we have. Guys, before I sign off, it's been about 3 hours, and you guys did an awesome job. The dysfunction that you see in this young man, do you feel like it'll be more of this, or do you feel like it's going to be more of this in the next 5 to 20 years, in your opinion?
More. Yeah, because more of these guys will get some money, and then they'll see, like, social media, that they can travel, and then they're going to think that they can do stupid stuff abroad. Whereas, back in the day, I didn't have any images. I just had a few images, like in a foreign language book. That's it. So, like, it was word of mouth. So okay, I go, but we didn't have anything besides a few maybe documentaries online. The Karate Kid 2. That was probably the biggest thing I had for Japan when I was growing up. So yeah, so there's gonna be more of these guys, but there'll also be more of us, the passport bros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna dramatically increase in number.
Now, Theo, your wife was from Asia, right?
Japan,
right.
Yeah.
And you said she passed away?
Yeah, she passed away, unfortunately. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's there's another woman in my life, but I took over 10 years. Man.
Wow, you really did love her, man.
Yeah, I loved her. But I was really blue pill with her. Mm-hmm. And so I had to drop the red pill and figure things out. So if I had dropped the red pill back in the day, I probably would have married later, because I would have played the field. I would have been like, hey,
right.
I'm in Asia, right? I can do what I want. But when I was 28, I was making $120,000 a year. I was in CISP in security, and there's this woman. She was 2 years older than me, and I was like, oh, I can make a family with you. So I did blue pill, but I did it.
Did you have kids with her?
She died in childbirth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the child also died.
Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah, it was a gruesome loss, but I'm here. I'm still going.
Bless your heart, brother. Bless your heart, man. I really appreciate everything you do, and everything you're trying to do for these young men and older men as well. Mr. Charles, I'm about to sign off, man. I told folks to come in a couple minutes ago. Come on, Mr. Charles. I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes, brother. How you doing, Mr. Charles? About 5 minutes. How you doing, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother.
I just recently discovered about the guy that you have in the video. Sorry, I'm at work trying to. I just recently discovered about the guy in the video. I think some of this stuff started catching the algorithm, and there was one video I just posted in the link where I guess the lady was having him as a tourist guide, and he totally disrespected the cab driver and the lady who was a tourist guide by shortchanging them and being disrespectful. So I posted the link, so you probably can. It's 10 hours, but I think it's more of in the first 4 hours. You can skim through it, and you'll see how the people that was on the video was already telling them on what to look for, what to not look for, and I guess he totally was discarding what they were telling them. On top of the disrespect that he did to the people of the DR. The guy in the video, the J Rillo guy.
Oh, what did he do to the people in the DR? What did he do?
He was saying, he was cheap. He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't looking out. For
He could, like say, I think he went in there and he went with a budget of like $700, and then I guess he was trying to save more of his money for I guess the women, the women.
He tricked it off and he ran out. I already know what happened.
Right.
Yeah. So he was trying to save more of his money for the women instead of treating, because like the people that were picked him up from the airport, it was a 3-hour round trip that they drove an hour and a half to pick him up, hour and a half to get back. But he's only thinking about the hour and a half that from the airport to his hotel. He's not thinking about they drove an hour and a half to come and pick me up. So I mean, well, long story short, if any guys are thinking about traveling, it's to bring more money or have more resources than less resources, and then doing what you have to do with crying at the airport trying to find sympathy money.
Well, here's the deal. Here, and Theo knows this. When you become an international traveler, building relationships is the biggest thing that can sink you or keep you afloat. And not only that, keep you alive.
Yeah.
I had a situation where I was about to get robbed in Dominican Republic by some Haitians. Guess who saved me? A Dominican who I had been befriended and was and taking care of him with some tips.
Yeah.
What happened when he found out about it? He ran them suckers off. Him and a gang of his crew. So when you telling me that he was shortchanging the cab driver and the girl, the lady that was showing him around, that tells me right there. Even if he go back, he persona non grata.
Right.
They not gonna look out. They're gonna want all the butter from the duck from him before they do anything. But when you generous, you looking out. But I know what happened. He made it to Playa Sosua. He started tricking. He blew all his bread. Right? He had just enough to get back to the airport, and he was late on top of that. Now he's screwed. I know what happened.
Pretty much.
He ain't the first.
And the crazy part in the stream is that they were telling them that you're gonna get hustled. You're gonna get hustled because it's your first time. You don't understand the landscape. You're by yourself and you think you know what you're doing, and you really don't, because you're a first timer and you're in foreign land.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But that's what I figured what happened too. I figured he blew his money being goofy, man, which made him look even worse. To say the least, man. It's unfortunate, man. But men like him, like I said, guys, are the spawn of baby mamas. They like clarity, they like masculinity, and sadly, they make all men or men in the movement look bad, man. But Pablo, you're married like myself, man. You don't have to worry about that. If you were a single man again, Pablo, what country would you go to find your wife? And then we're gonna end the stream in a minute.
If I were single again, like I said, I done fell in love with Colombia, man. That's my spot. That's just my spot. Now, every guy, every person, I won't limit this just to men. When you're traveling, you end up with a country with a country of preference, right? For some guys it's Philippines, for some guys it's Thailand, Theo, Japan. I don't know if Japan is Theo's, but I'm pretty sure Maybe Brazil is. I know lately he's been high on Brazil. I don't know what his is, but we all have one. We all have a favorite, right? That does not mean that we don't like the other places. People frequently ask me, "What's better, this place or that place?" I'm like, brother, it depends on what your desires, tastes, personality is as to what is better than what. I got a partner. He's a very experienced traveler. Guess what? DR is still it for him, even though people are swearing, "Oh, DR is overflows over the." Not for him. Not for him. So, like I said, it all depends on where you are, in your life, where you are in your personality, and in all that other stuff.
Right. I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I love Eastern Europe. I like to go travel there again. It's on fire right now. Can't go there, but I like going there. Right now, I have a big attraction towards Brazil. In all of South America, I just really like it. I don't know why it floats my boat so well, but it does. And I mean, the Japanese Brazilian women kind of hit it home for me. I can use 3 languages with them, so it's fun. So yeah, there isn't one best country, there isn't one best culture, one best woman. Got to go out there and kind of see what you like. But it doesn't mean you're pooking yourself out there. It's better to just meet the people in your own country first, go to dinner with them, or get to know them, and then learn. Kind of like a human being would. Like that. Turn off your apps, turn off the phone, learn how to talk. Then you'll be fine.
Right. I totally agree. Listen, guys, we're gonna end this stream. Pablo, thank you, brother, for coming on. We gotta do a solo show one point. And Theo, this show is more or less a combination of you being Hemdale and also talking about Passport Pookie. But what we'll do, Theo, we'll have a live show where guys can come on and ask you questions, and we'll just do it solo, do it one-on-one, man. But I really appreciate you coming in, man. I know you had class today. You were trying to teach guys for 6 hours. I'm honored that you took the time out of your schedule to come on, man, and I really appreciate that, brother. Look forward to meeting you in Atlanta at some point. And
I'll see you.
We'll have a conversation. So anyway, signing off, guys. Mr. Charles, thank you for coming in, man. I'm going to remove you guys, drop you guys down, man. And guys, thank you for coming in, man. It's been a great show. I really appreciate it, guys. And I want you guys to remember there are 7 steps that a man must go to become optimized on world travel, and understanding how to work in that psychology or that ecosystem is very important as we move forward. And as we also try to get the best outcomes that can help us become the better versions of ourselves. So guys, once thank you again. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And guys, I will be seeing you guys soon as we are signing out. And yes, Theo Waff, Theo is the GOAT, guys. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. And guys, we are signing off.
Going up, need no check Castro, yeah, I need my ass. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Watch out for those who surround you, need no funny kind. You can't see what's on my brain, I live inside my mind. Out of space and out of sight, you need me in my line. Need no face, don't need no phonies, no, no, no. Need no snakes, no only homies down for show. On go, go, go. Get a book and get the front and we load up and roll, roll, roll. I got kids, yeah, I got staff, I make a little need more, more, more. I sell records, you sell packs, not on my level, no, no, no. I'm a pop star, I'm a rock star, I'm a winner. Think I'm not hard, you smoke rock hard waste, man, why you dumb? I'm with airline, we on airlines like we on the run. I'm with take girls run up on me, they done. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah, 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 yeah. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my ass. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my. I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car cards, so you can tat it up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. Swipe, 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 swipe. Swipe, 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 swipe. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Swerving, making plays, Ferrari red. Never out my zone, touchdown in my hands. Only fam around me, I can't have no friends. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. Ever since I was a teen, had prices on my head. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Ballpoint on the beat, ballpoint make them dance. Yeah. We came up from nothing, now we're making plans. Yeah. Just picked up some bands, Tell her ask get questions while I come and grind. On the run like a runaway. Only way is the money way. New chain, no jewelry. No games, don't fool me. 21, been a boss. Take the game, pay the cost. Heard you rolling TikTok. Need to get another watch. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says.
Have you been distressed or perplexed? Emasculated. A book written by Edward Fields IV. Everything that needs to be known about men in modern time. Listen. Men are not complex, they are misunderstood and unappreciated. Learn what men really feel, think, and desire. Also observe their struggle for acceptance, love, and belonging. A must read for every man in this classic book by Edward Fields IV, Emasculated. Go get your copy now. Choose wisely.